Chapter 907. Retribution is here. _5. Dr. Jiang, Zheng Lingling, and Sun Wu were executed that day. Old Mrs. Zheng bought lots of joss paper, took it to the crossroad and burned it. Sister, brother-in-law Lingling, I've wronged your family of 3. It was my lack of discernment, fostering a tiger to invite trouble. Today is the day that ungrateful family was shot. Sister, brother-in-law Lingling, can you see this? Strangely enough, though it had been clear skies, rain began to fall in the afternoon. The rain continued for 2 days. By the second day, the weather cleared up. With such a major incident in the Zheng family, Enai Zihua and Shangguan Dehui feared that staying in the old Zheng house might be too emotionally painful for the 2 elderly, as every corner reminded them of Zheng Lingling, Sun Wu, and Zheng Xianjing. Thus, they suggested that the elders move to Jinghua village with them. The roads to Jinghua village had been fixed, making transportation convenient, and the village had fresh air. Plus, the Enai family's house was well renovated and more comfortable to live in. Old Mr. Zheng and old Mrs. Zheng were very willing. That very day, they dismissed all the servants of the Zheng family and moved to Jinghua village. Enai Zihua and Shangguan Dehui had moved from Jinghua village to the Zheng house in winter, and now, they were moving back in the summertime. Learning that Enai Yang and the others had moved back, the villagers of Jinghua village were very happy. Worried they might have nothing to eat upon just returning, each household brought over a lot of food. Old Mrs. Zheng said with a smile, "The people here are really warm-hearted." Old Mr. Zheng nodded, "Indeed." Seeing that old Mr. Zheng and old Mrs. Zheng had moved over, Enai Yang said, "Why don't we bring Grandma over too?" Enai Yang was referring to old Mrs. Shangguan. The Shangguan family only had old Mrs. Shangguan by herself, with Shangguan Su and Shangguan Shi living outside. They usually only came back on weekends, and sometimes they didn't return for weeks. Although Shangguan Dehui and Enai Yang visited her every week, rain or shine, the old lady was inevitably lonely. You get lonely when you're old. Isn't it just about having some liveliness? Since the Enai family had plenty of rooms with their house, even 10 or 8 more people could fit. Hearing this, Enai Zihua immediately nodded. Yang really thinks of everything. I've been so busy I didn't even consider it. Your dad and I will go and bring Grandma over now. Old Mrs. Zheng and old Mr. Zheng also nodded in agreement. That's right, that's right. Ting, don't busy yourself, hurry and go with Dehui to bring your in-laws over. Enai Yang then said, I can drive to pick her up, you both stay home and get things ready. Enai Zihua exclaimed in surprise, Yang, when did you learn to drive? She didn't even know. Enai Yang smiled and said, Mo Qishan taught me. She had to bring up Mo Qishan to avoid her mother's suspicion. Oh. Enai Zihua didn't suspect anything and continued, then drive slowly and be careful on the road. I will, don't worry. Old Mr. Zheng called out to Enai Yang, Yang, wait a moment. What is it, Grandpa? Enai Yang turned back to look at old Mr. Zheng. Old Mr. Zheng continued, Yang, your grandma will be here soon. To avoid calling someone wrong in the future, you should call us Grandpa and Grandma from now on. Old Mrs. Zheng nodded, I think what your grandpa said makes sense. Although the custom in Beijing is that children born to daughters with no sons in the house should call their grandparents Grandpa and Grandma, old Mr. Zheng and old Mrs. Zheng didn't care about these things. Grandpa and Grandma, as long as there is kinship, it's all the same. Okay, Grandpa and Grandma. Enai Yang quickly changed her way of addressing them. Enai Yang didn't buy a sedan. This car belonged to the Zheng family. Since both elders had moved in, it was inconvenient not to have a car. Just as Enai Yang opened the car door, Gooden came running over from afar. Sister Enai Yang. You're back. Everyone just said you were back, and I didn't believe it. Gooden. Enai Yang reached out and touched Gooden's little head. Sister Enai Yang, is this your car? Gooden asked. Enai Yang shook her head. No, it belongs to my grandpa and grandma. Gooden laughed and said, if it's your grandpa and grandma's, isn't that just the same as yours? After all, you're all family. Sister Enai Yang, you're really silly. Enai Yang said, Gooden, it's not the same. Only things earned by one's own effort can truly be considered one's own. This car wasn't bought by Sister Ni Yang herself, so it doesn't belong to Sister Ni Yang. Chapter 908. Retribution is here. _6. Oh, I see. Gooden nodded, not quite understanding, then asked, Sister Ni Yang, can you still drive? Ni Yang nodded. Wow! Gooden exclaimed with admiration, Sister Ni Yang, you're amazing. My older sister can't even drive. Ni Yang opened the car door. Do you want to get in? Shall I take you for a ride? Gooden hesitated, then said, Sister Ni Yang, you have things to do, I won't bother you. Ni Yang smiled and said, I'm going to the city to pick up my grandma and bring her home. If you're free, you can join me. It'll be nice to chat on the road, and anyway, my grandma is no stranger. Sure. Gooden was thrilled and immediately got into the car, sitting in the passenger seat. This was Gooden's first time in a sedan, excitedly touching this and looking at that. Having a rare chance to touch a car, Ni Yang immediately showed Gooden some driving techniques. Gooden was so excited he almost went crazy. Sister Ni Yang, you're so amazing. I feel like I'm flying. Sister Ni Yang, be careful, there's a car up ahead. There was a sharp turn ahead, and another sedan too. It looked like they were about to crash, but Ni Yang didn't slow down in the slightest. A dashing fishtail. Swish. The car passed the bend. Man, that car was incredible, said the driver in the car across, sitting stunned at the wheel. He even thought he was dreaming. What, don't you recognize your junior sister anymore? A gentle male voice came from the back seat. Yes, sitting in the driver's seat was Wang Ziki. Hearing this, Wang Ziki's eyes widened in disbelief. Really? Are you serious? He continued, Master Du, you're not joking with me, right? His junior sister was that good? Wang Ziki had been driving for several years and considered himself skilled, but he couldn't even see the shadow of that car just now. Why would I joke with you? Master Du turned a page of the Buddhist scripture, his expression indifferent. Ni Yang was truly impressive. He knew every detail of the Zheng family incident. He had originally planned to help Ni Yang, especially since he had promised Imo Chishan to take good care of her. But before he could act, Ni Yang had already handled it. She didn't need anyone's help. She alone was enough to protect her loved ones. Wang Ziki swallowed hard. My junior sister is really amazing. Soon, the car stopped at the entrance of the delightful restaurant. During this time, Master Du occasionally came to this restaurant just because the food was delicious. Wang Ziki opened the car door. Master Du put on a black hat and got out of the car, bending forward. Wang Ziki followed closely. Just then, a figure ran from the side and accidentally bumped into Master Du. It was an 8 or 9-year-old boy who was also frightened, sitting on the ground with his face pale, looking up at Master Du, almost crying. Whose child are you? Why are you so clumsy? Wang Ziki scolded. Wang Ziki was tall and striking, with brows like knife slashes, and his frowning, stern look terrified the little boy, making him burst into tears. I'm sorry. A 17 or 18-year-old girl ran over from the side. My little brother is young and clueless, he accidentally bumped into you. Big sister, the little boy quickly hid behind her. Erlong, I've told you before to be careful when walking, not to run, and yet you treat my words as nothing. Now apologize to these two uncles immediately. This little boy was indeed Wu Erlong, and the young girl was Wu Yinyun. Under Ni Yang's guidance, the construction business run by Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju, husband and wife, was doing quite well. Life was getting better. Wu Erlong, timid by nature, just knew to cover his face and cry, not daring to apologize. Left with no choice, Wu Yinyun had to apologize to Master Du. Sir, I'm really sorry. My little brother knows he's wrong, please forgive him. Only then did Master Du really look at Wu Yinyun. The girl was quite striking, and her demeanor impressive, reminding him immediately of Ni Yang. But if it were Ni Yang, she definitely wouldn't have handled it this way. She couldn't stand to apologize for others. Master Du didn't know why he was so certain that Ni Yang wouldn't do such a thing, but he was thoroughly convinced of it. Let it be, Master Du said slowly. Ziki, let's go. That voice, it sounds familiar, thought Wu Yenyun, looking up just in time to see Master Du's profile. His refined appearance revealed a hint of sharpness. Wasn't this the man who gave her 100 yuan last time? Wu Yenyun had a good memory. She wouldn't have remembered wrong. Sir, please wait. Wu Yenyun called after Master Du. What is it? Wang Ziki stretched out his hand to stop Wu Yenyun. She moved past Wang Ziki, looking at Master Du. Sir, do you remember me? We've met before and you gave me 100 yuan. Could you tell me where you live, so I can bring you the money from home? Now that her family was financially better off, Wu Yenyun wanted to return the 100 yuan to him, otherwise, she felt like she owed someone something. I don't remember, Master Du said, playing with his Buddha beads. Chapter 909. Teaching you a lesson. Yi had seen countless people in his life, so why would he waste time on a young girl head only met once? He really didn't remember Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun continued, it was probably a little over 2 months ago. You were sitting in your car and had your driver give me 100 yuan, don't you remember? Yi frowned and thought for a moment. There seemed to be a faint impression. The last incident was my driver's fault. The money was compensation to you, you don't need to return it. Having said this, Yi turned his head to Wang Ziki. Let's go. Okay, Wang Ziki nodded. Wait. Wu Yenyun hurried to catch up with the two men's pace. 100 yuan might be less than a drop in the ocean for Yi, but to Wu Yenyun, it was a fortune. Before she hadn't encountered Yi, it would have been fine, but now that she had, she couldn't just take 100 yuan from someone for nothing. Hearing this, Yi's face showed a hint of impatience. He held a high position and the last thing he lacked was the entanglement of women, and the thing he feared most was also the entanglement of women. Young lady, please don't follow our Mr. Du anymore. Wang Ziki noticed Yi's displeasure and quickly stepped in front of Wu Yenyun. Wu Yenyun was also a bit embarrassed. I just want to return the money to this gentleman, Wang Ziki continued. If you really want to return the money, then take this 100 yuan and give it to someone in need, that will count as having returned it. Can you make decisions for that gentleman? Wu Yenyun hesitated. Wang Ziki was somewhat speechless. This young girl looked young and pretty, but who would have thought she'd be so long-winded, almost as much as his own mother? Yi, twirling his Buddha beads, turned back to look at Wu Yenyun. Just do as he said. Okay, Wu Yenyun nodded. Yi and Wang Ziki walked straight inside. Wu Yenyun watched Yi's retreating figure. Her heart felt as if it had been hit by something, and ripples spread out in circles within her chest. An indescribable feeling. Not until Wang Ziki and Yi's figures had disappeared into the distance did Wu Yenyun turn around to walk back. Erlong, are you okay? I'm fine. Wu Erlong had been frightened, wiping away tears with his sleeve. Wu Yenyun squatted down and patted the dust off Wu Erlong. How many times have I told you, don't run when you walk, watch the road. Today it was those two gentlemen being reasonable. If you met someone not so reasonable or a frail elder, then you would be in deep trouble. Big sister, I know, Wu Erlong nodded, looking wronged. On the other side, An Yang brought Gooden to the Shangguan family. Old Madame Shangguan was watering the flowers in the garden. Even though the Shangguan family had many servants, the old lady still cut a solitary figure. Grandma. Hearing An Yang's voice, old Madame Shangguan's grip on the watering can paused. Today was Tuesday. Normally An Yang would only come back on weekends. She must have heard wrong. Old Madame Shangguan continued to water the flowers. Grandma. It wasn't until An Yang with Gooden came to old Madame Shangguan that she realized this was not an illusion. Yang. Old Madame Shangguan dropped the water sprayer in excitement. An Yang reached out and hugged old Madame Shangguan. Grandma, I've missed you so much. Old people love to hear sweet nothings. Hearing this, old Madame Shangguan was overjoyed. An Yang then said, Oh, Grandma, this is Gooden. He also lives in Jinghua village. He's my good friend. Hearing this, Gooden was thrilled. He was only 12 this year, still a child in many people's eyes. How could adults and children be good friends? But Sister An Yang was different. She actually introduced him to others, saying that he was her good friend. He was Sister An Yang's good friend. Gooden was delighted beyond belief, and quickly greeted old Madame Shangguan. "Hello, Grandma. I'm Gooden. My full name is Li Changsho, but you can just call me Gooden." "That's a good name, Gooden." Old Madame Shangguan laughed. "Come on, follow Grandma inside." They followed old Madame Shangguan into the villa of the Shangguan family. The Shangguan family's villa was beautifully decorated. But Gooden had already seen Ni Yang's house decorated and wasn't surprised now. After entering, old Madame Shangguan had a servant bring a bunch of delicious food. Gooden was a bit shy to reach out. Ni Yang grabbed a handful of teddy bear biscuits and stuffed them into Gooden's hand. "Gooden, no need to be reserved at Sister Ni Yang's house. Just take whatever you want to eat." Chapter 9-10. Teach you how to be human. _2. Shangguan Grandma said with a smile, "Your sister Ni Yang is right, Gooden. Don't be overly polite, take whatever you want to eat." "Thank you, Grandma." Shangguan Grandma continued, Yang, didn't your mom, your dad, and little Yun come with you?" It was then that Ni Yang remembered the matter at hand and replied, "Grandma, I came to take you back with us to live together." "To live with you all?" Shangguan Grandma was taken aback. "Yes." Ni Yang nodded and added, "Grandma, now both my maternal grandparents have moved with us to Jinghua village, so my parents asked me to bring you over as well. It will be livelier with more people living together." Shangguan Grandma hesitated. "Yang, I'm quite comfortable living here. Moving over to your place, wouldn't it be a bit inconvenient?" She really didn't want to trouble the younger generation. Ni Yang said with a smile, "There's no inconvenience at all, that's your home too. It's much livelier when everyone lives together. The cement road in our village is already fixed. Whenever you miss home, you can just take a car back to visit. It's very convenient." Shangguan Grandma still hesitated. Ni Yang continued, "Grandma, Yun has been talking about you these past days. If you move over, you'll be able to see Yun every day. Also, you don't have to worry about my brother and sister Xiaoxi at all. There are so many rooms at home. When my brother and sister Xiaoxi come back for holidays, they can choose whichever room they want to stay in." Ni Yun was the youngest child in the family and the granddaughter Shangguan Grandma loved the most. After hearing what Ni Yang said, Shangguan Grandma immediately replied, all right. Then I'll move over. I'm going to make a call right now to inform Xiaoxiu and Xiaoxi. All right, and I need to tell your aunt too." As she spoke, Shangguan Grandma excitedly went off to make the calls to everyone. Not only did Shangguan Grandma inform Shangguan Su and Shangguan Shi, but she also called all her relatives, unable to stop smiling. "Oh, the kids are so filial. I said I wouldn't go, but they insisted I come. It seems I really have to go." Though Shangguan Grandma was hesitant before going, she was very happy in the end. There isn't an elderly person who doesn't want to live with their own children. After notifying all her relatives and friends, Shangguan Grandma packed some clothes and daily necessities. As the three of them were getting ready to leave, Zhao Shen suddenly arrived with Zhao Zijuan. "Grandma!" Zhao Zijuan rushed in from outside. "Sister Ni Yang, you're here too." Ni Yang introduced Gooden to Zhao Zijuan. Zhao Zijuan, a very outgoing child, said, "Hello Gooden, I'm Yang Yang's cousin, you can just call me Zijuan." Though Gooden had grown up in the countryside, he wasn't shy at all and confidently said, "Then you can just call me Gooden." The two kids quickly started playing together. Gooden said, "Zijuan, if you ever come to Sister Ni Yang's house to play, remember to come find me, I'll take you to my secret base." Kids in the countryside usually have their own secret bases. Zhao Zijuan first nodded, then as if he thought of something added, "But I don't know the way to your house?" Gooden said with a laugh, "You can ask Sister Ni Yang, she knows." While the children played outside, the three adults talked inside. Although Zhao Shen and Shangguan Furong had already divorced, whenever he had time, he would bring Zhao Zijuan to the Shangguan family's home to see Shangguan Grandma. Even though Shangguan Furong had made it clear that there was no possibility between them, Dehui still held hopes. "Mom, about Furong and me, could you please talk to Furong again?" Shangguan Grandma sighed. "You young people, you don't cherish what you have when you have it, and now that you've lost it, you realize and regret. But where in this world can you find a regret medicine? I really know I was wrong." Zhao Shen also felt regret, but it was pointless now. Shangguan grandma continued, I've already talked to Furong. It was useless, she's made up her mind this time. Zhao Shen, you're still young, you should quickly find someone else while you can. But let me say this first, the person must be kind-hearted, not like last time. Shangguan grandma wasn't one to overlook sensibility, she wouldn't force Zhao Shen to never remarry. Chapter 9:11. Teach you how to behave. _3. Since Shangguan Furong and he no longer had a chance, it was better for Zhao Shen to find someone new early on. After all, he was bound to remarry sooner or later. To let him remarry? Upon hearing this, Zhao Shen's heart skipped a beat, and he said to old lady Shangguan, Mom, could it be that Furong has already, could it be that Shangguan Furong had found someone in such a short time? Old lady Shangguan understood what Zhao Shen was implying and shook her head. Furong comes back only once a month now. I'm not very clear about her personal affairs. I'm just saying that you should find someone new sooner. Shangguan Furong took Zhao Ziqing to Hetian City next door, sometimes not even returning once a month. Old lady Shangguan really didn't understand her personal affairs, but knowing Furong's personality, she probably wouldn't find someone else so quickly. Hearing this, Zhao Shen breathed a sigh of relief. Old lady Shangguan continued, By the way, how has your mother been recently? Zhao Shen nodded, My mom is very well now. You don't need to worry. That's good. Zhao Shen turned to look at Enai Yang and asked, Did Yang Yang come today to take your grandma to Jinghua village? Enai Yang nodded, Yes. The countryside has good air, suitable for the elderly. Zhao Shen made some small talk before getting to the point. Yang, your aunt listens to you the most now. Could you help me persuade her? I really regret it, I know I was wrong, and as long as she is willing to give me another chance, I'll do whatever she asks. Since the series of events, Enai Yang's position in Shangguan Furong's heart was different. Whatever Enai Yang said, she would certainly listen. Enai Yang smiled slightly and said tactfully, Uncle, I'm flattered that you think so highly of me, but I might disappoint you. I'm still a child after all. It may not be appropriate for me to interfere with you and Auntie's affairs. Enai Yang really didn't want to get involved in this matter. Because Zhao Shen made a mistake that no woman in the world would forgive. Whether to forgive Zhao Shen and get back together with him was something for Shangguan Furong to consider on her own. Outsiders shouldn't forcefully interfere. Zhao Shen was a clever man. He understood the subtext of Enai Yang's words and sighed, Okay, I understand. After sitting at the Shangguan family's home for a while, Zhao Shen bid farewell to old lady Shangguan. Enai Yang said, Uncle, even though you and Auntie are divorced now, we're still relatives. Zijuan is still Grandma's grandchild, and I am still Zijin's cousin. If you have time, remember to take Zijuan to Jinghua village for a visit, as Grandma is going to be staying there regularly from now on. Zhao Shen nodded, Okay, Yang, I got it. After Zhao Shen left with Zhao Zijuan, Enai Yang also took old lady Shangguan and Guden back to the village. The car played the operas old lady Shangguan loved to hear. The elderly woman smiled all the way there. When they got back to Jinghua village, it was already after 3 in the afternoon. The house had already been nearly put in order by Enai Zuihua and Shangguan Dehui. Considering the elderly's mobility issues, Enai Zuihua and Shangguan Dehui decided to arrange the first-floor room for the 3 seniors. The 3 seniors naturally had no objections. When Enai Chengui came back in the evening and saw that Enai Zuihua and the others had returned, he couldn't have been happier. He hugged Enai Zuihua excitedly. Oh, Yang mom, you're back. You have no idea how boring it was without your family around. Even the food didn't taste as good as before. Enai Zuihua laughed and said, Then tonight you must eat a few more bowls. Certainly will, Enai Chengui said. Yang's mom, it's been such a long time since I've had your cooking. Enai Zuihua continued, Sister Chengui, what do you want to eat tonight? I'll cook anything for you. Enai Chengui listed 3 dishes she wanted. After the dishes were ready that evening, Enai Zuihua served a separate portion of each dish for Enai Yang to take to Granny Lu. The weather wasn't good that night, with dark clouds covering the moon and stars, making everything pitch dark. Thanks to Enai Yang's good eyesight, she could still see where she was going. Enai Yang touched her chin. pondering whether it might be time to install some street lamps along the road. But at that time, solar street lamps still didn't exist. The street lamps being installed were manually controlled. They weren't turned on one by one. Instead, pushing up the main switch easily did the job. While walking, Yang thought about this, and by the time she arrived at Granny Liu's house, Granny Liu was already having dinner. Chapter 9:12. Teach you how to behave. _4. The elderly woman's dinner was very simple. Cornbread with white rice porridge and a bowl of pickled vegetables. Grandma Liu im here. Grandma Liu was getting on in years, and her hearing had been gradually declining until Yang approached her. Only then did she notice Yang. Yang's here. When did you get back, Yang? Yang said loudly, Grandma Liu, I got home this morning. Grandma Liu nodded and continued, Did your parents come back with you? They came back, and my maternal grandparents and grandma came along too. That's good, that's good. It's more lively when the family is together. Grandma Liu took Yang's hand and had her sit down. Yang took the food out of the basket. Grandma Liu, this is what my mom sent over for you. Just taken out of the pot, eat it while it's hot. Grandma Liu smiled and said, Your mom is too kind. What is this? Let me taste. Ah, your mom's cooking skills are getting better and better. The flavor of this dish is indescribable. Yang went on, Grandma Liu, now that my maternal grandparents and I have moved over, why don't you move in and live with us? Because she had grown fond of Grandma Liu, and Grandma Liu had no children of her own nor any relatives or friends, Yang had previously invited Grandma Liu to stay at their house. But Grandma Liu had refused. No matter what, she didn't want to go. This time, Yang brought it up again, but Grandma Liu still refused. No, I'm quite happy living here. A golden nest, a silver nest, is not as good as one's own doghouse, Yang, no need to mention it again. After chatting with Grandma Liu for a while, Yang left. After Yang had gone, Grandma Liu's courtyard returned to its previous quiet state. Yang looked back at the little house enveloped by the night and silently made up her mind about something. Since Grandma Liu didn't want to move in, she would find a way to make Grandma Liu's home more lively. The next day, the village air was really good. If it hadn't been for Duo, who had smelled bad all morning, flying to Yang's bedside and squawking, Yang could have slept for another 2 hours. Duo, what are you squawking about? Yang got dressed and went down from the bed. Get up. Duo said, I'm hungry. Yang smiled helplessly. It turned out this little guy was hungry. She took a handful of bird food she brought back from abroad and put it on the coffee table. You can't even catch bugs. You stupid bird. Duo was too busy eating to pay attention to Yang. Yang went to freshen up in the bathroom. She had personally designed the house for convenience. Nearly every room had a bathroom. After freshening up, she went downstairs just in time for breakfast. In the dining room, old Madame Shangguan and old Madame Zheng were eating breakfast and chatting. Good morning, Grandma. Good morning, Grandmother. Yang grabbed a bun casually. Where's Grandpa? Old Madame Zheng said, Your grandpa went out with Yun, probably for a walk. The villagers didn't recognize Mr. Zheng, but they all knew little Yun. Going out with little Yun was like walking with a living signboard. Plus, little Yun had a built-in sense of direction. Although she was young, she was smart. After breakfast, Yang rode her bike to the city. She was going to check the accounts of various stores. Because there were many stores, it took a whole day and she still hadn't finished. Not until the third day around 11 in the morning did Yang finish checking all the accounts. After doing the accounts, Yang bought some things and went to visit Xiaozhou, who had played a crucial role in clearing up the situation. As soon as Xiaozhou saw Yang coming with so many things, he was immediately delighted and said with concern, Brother Yang, this is too kind of you. You'll feel embarrassed. While saying he was embarrassed, Xiaozhou kept carrying the things inside. Yang joked, Your skin is thicker than a city wall's corner, and you know how to feel embarrassed? Is that how you compliment someone? Xiaozhou pushed Yang lightly and then asked, By the way, with such a big event at your house, are you okay? Yang raised an eyebrow slightly. Your brother Yang is so capable, what could possibly go wrong? Xiaozhou continued, how's your family? While Xiaozhou was a detective, he didn't investigate every single matter. If he had to look into everything, how much effort would that take? Ni Yang succinctly told about the fate of Zheng Lingling, Sun Wu, and Zheng Xianjing's family of 3. Chapter 9:13. Teach you how to behave. _5. Xiaozhou said, what goes around comes around. By the way, how is your aunt? Her mental health wasn't good to begin with. Did this incident not totally devastate her? Having lost her only child, kept in the dark, and nearly causing the death of her own grandniece, anyone would probably find it hard to cope with such blows. Ni Yang sighed. My aunt became a nun. Really? Xiaozhou was somewhat surprised. Ni Yang nodded. Yes, she's now at Baiyun Temple. Xiaozhou continued, is she doing this to atone for her past? Perhaps, Ni Yang said. If she hadn't been manipulated and had spoken up earlier, perhaps that child would not have died, and so many things wouldn't have happened. Xiaozhou nodded. That makes sense. Departing from Xiaoza's place, Ni Yang made another trip to the department store. She wanted to buy a television for Grandma Lu. It was already 1985, and color TVs were available, though quite expensive, costing over 3,000 yuan each. Ordinary families could hardly afford them. Thus, at this time, if a family in the village bought a TV, they would become the most popular household, because everyone would bring their bowls to watch TV during mealtime at their home, which helped alleviate Grandma Liu's loneliness. Since she had decided to buy a TV for Grandma Lu, it had to be a color one. Ni Yang paid without hesitation and even added an extra 10 yuan for delivery. The shopkeeper was stunned. He initially thought Ni Yang was just browsing, but she didn't haggle and spent 3,000 yuan outright. From that moment on, the shopkeepers saw Ni Yang in a new light. After paying and arranging the delivery time with the shopkeeper, Ni Yang headed to the 3rd floor's clothing city, planning to buy some clothes. Ni Yang picked several cheongsams and was about to pay when she spotted a light blue embroidered cheongsam. Please get that one down for me. Ni Yang turned to the sales associate. Of course, the associate nodded. Just then, a pair of hands reached out before the sales associate and took the cheongsam. I saw this cheongsam first. Ni Yang looked up and saw a young woman in her 20s with healthy wheat-colored skin and well-defined features, not looking like someone from Beijing. Judging by her accent, she seemed to be from Bay Island. The relationship between China and Bay Island had entered a new historical phase on New Year's Day 1979, with friendly interactions and the cessation of all hostilities. So, it wasn't strange to see someone from Bay Island in Beijing. Since the woman had grabbed the cheongsam first, Ni Yang didn't say much, just smiled gently at the young woman and then turned to the sales associate. Let's go to the cashier. Sure, the associate nodded, thankful to have met a reasonable customer today. Dealing with difficult customers could have caused a scene. Please follow me. Hello, that will be 450 yuan in total. 6 cheongsams, all made of real silk, and together only costing a bit over 400 yuan. Such a price would be quite reasonable in later times. Ni Yang took out the money from her purse and handed it to the sales associate, revealing a pale, smooth wrist and a translucent, droplet-like jade bracelet as she moved. Under the lights, the jade bracelet cast a cool glow. At that moment, the young woman with the light blue cheongsam came over to pay, and she noticed the bracelet. That bracelet is gorgeous. It would look even more beautiful on her. The young woman narrowed her eyes. Wait, why does that bracelet look familiar? It seemed like she had seen it before. She remembered. She had seen this bracelet in old family photos at home. Hey, where did you get this bracelet from? The young woman approached Ni Yang, her tone somewhat aggressive. Judging by how Ni Yang had spent just over 400 yuan on several cheongsams, she didn't seem like someone who could afford such an expensive bracelet. And this bracelet was a family heirloom. Could it be stolen? The young woman narrowed her eyes. Seeing the hostility in the young woman's eyes, Ni Yang frowned slightly. This really isn't any of your concern. Since the other party was hostile, there was no need for her to be overly friendly. After all, she wasn't a masochist who enjoyed self-harm. Chapter 9:14. Teach you how to behave. _6. You have no manners at all, do you? The young woman angrily said. Is this how everyone from Beijing answers questions? Born into a family of privilege, she had always been looked up to, constantly showered with compliments, and this was her first time encountering someone like Ni Yang, who was such a thorn in her side. Ni Yang slightly raised her eyebrows, retorted, Comrade, do you even know what manners means? If you're so mannerly, is this the attitude you use to ask questions of others? How can you speak like that? The young woman was about to explode with anger. This brash young girl had no sense at all. How dare she be so insolent? Would anyone dare to do this to her on Taiwan Island? Ni Yang shrugged slightly. I speak just like this. What's the matter? Do you have a problem? After speaking, she continued, even if you have an issue, keep it to yourself. I'm not your mother, why should I pander to you? Having said this, Ni Yang picked up her clothes and turned to leave. As she turned, her black hair traced a perfect arc through the air, exuding an air of authority and beauty, extremely eye-catching. The young woman, now seething with rage, immediately followed and grabbed Ni Yang by the wrist. You vile girl, you're not going anywhere. Ni Yang glanced back with a slight curl of her red lips. Let go. Two softly spoken words, yet they carried a chill. Vile girl. You can't leave. Tell me, where did you get that bracelet? Not letting go, huh? Ni Yang smiled, then don't regret it later. Since no one in your family taught you how to behave, I suppose I'll reluctantly step in. Having said that, Ni Yang slowly withdrew her hand. She seemed not to use much strength, yet the young woman couldn't muster any resistance. Bang! Due to the sudden inertia, she lost her balance and fell hard to the ground, in unbearable pain. Ni Yang looked down at her, lightly dusted off her hands. Beijing isn't your home, nor is it a place for you to throw your weight around as a spoiled rich girl. If you bother me again, consider the consequences. Unable to best Ni Yang in a fight, the young woman waited until Ni Yang's figure disappeared at the entrance before she dared to curse loudly. It hurts so much. Vile girl. Vile girl. I'll kill you. Miss, are you all right? Seeing the commotion, a servant who had come with her immediately ran over. The young woman's features were twisted in anger. I'm so furious. That vile girl. Why didn't you come over just now? Sorry, miss, I didn't see what happened. Useless. The young woman slapped the servant, then reached into her pocket and pulled out a 100 renminbi note. Take this money and buy some medicine. Nowadays, everyone is equal, and servants have rights. Employers can't just beat them as they please. But money can solve anything. The servant took the money and caught up with the young woman. Miss, wait for me. As long as the pay was right, even getting beaten up 100 times a day wouldn't matter. And this was 100 yuan, equivalent to 3 months of her salary. The young woman ran outside the mall, but Ni Yang was nowhere to be seen. Fuming, she got into a sedan and slammed the car door shut. Back to the mansion. Okay. Seeing her so angry, the driver subconsciously shrank his neck. The young lady was not an easy one to please. The small sedan sped all the way to a very luxurious mansion and stopped in front. The young woman ran inside, crying, Brother, someone's bullying me. Who dares to bully my precious little sister? A man, around 25 or 26 years old, walked out from the house. He was Lu Qi, and the crying person was his sister, Lu Ru. Because of work, their family of 3 had moved from Taiwan Island to Beijing, and they had already been in Beijing for over a month. Lu Ru said angrily, Some lowly girl. She said I have no manners and even dared to talk back to me. It's just too uncultured. Brother, you must help me get revenge. Catch that lowly girl and teach her a lesson. Lu Ru had never been so infuriated in all the time she had been in Beijing. She wished she could kill Ni Yang. Lu Qi sighed. Xiao, this isn't Bay Island, and it's not our home. I've told you before, you need to restrain yourself. If you cause trouble here, no one can clean up your mess. Lu Ru was his own sister. He knew Lu Ru all too well. Chances were, Today's incident was mostly Lu Ru's doing. Lu Ru had originally expected Lu Qi to vent her frustration, but instead, Lu Qi turned around and blamed her, which made her even angrier. Are you even my real brother? I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm going to find Dad. Lu Qi could only shake his head helplessly. Lu Ru stormed off towards Father Liu's room. Inside the room, the young Mother Lu was giving Father Lu a massage. Lu Ru's sudden entrance took the couple by surprise. Mother Lu frowned and said, "Child, how can you come in without knocking?" Lu Ru went straight to Father Lu, hugged his neck, and started to coo and complain. She briefly explained what had happened. Dad, you must stand up for me. That lowly girl was just too hateful." Father Lu was approaching his late 70s this year, and Lu Ru was only 20 years old. As a late-life daughter, he doted on her especially, fulfilling almost her every wish, and smiled, saying, "There, Dad will get your revenge. Sharu, don't be angry anymore. A girl looks worst when crying." Mother Lu laughed. "These girls in Beijing just don't have the discernment. They don't even see whose daughter you are to dare provoke you. Sharu, just wait, your dad will surely get revenge for you." Father Lu was almost 80 this year, but Mother Lu was only in her 50s, and she kept herself well maintained, looking almost like someone in their 30s or 40s, with a particularly elegant air and a pretty face. Lu Ru inherited her skin from Father Lu, and her looks from Mother Lu. Seeing both parents on her side, Lu Ru was overjoyed and added, "Right, I also saw that bracelet on that lowly girl's wrist." "What bracelet?" Father Lu asked. "The bracelet from that old photo. That bracelet is really pretty. It looks so much better than in the photo." At the end of her statement, Lu Ru's eyes lit up. "Dad, my grandaunt must still be alive. Can't we find her soon?" Before Father Lu could speak, Mother Lu was beside herself with excitement, grabbing Lu Ru's arm. "Sharu, did you really see it? That means your grandaunt is still alive." "Really?" Lu Ru nodded. "Mom, think about it. Have I ever misjudged any fine thing I've seen? Would I make a mistake?" Father Lu frowned and then said, "But there's always a bit of a discrepancy between a photo and the real thing. How do you know that bracelet was your grandaunt's?" Chapter 9:15. This is too amazing. Lu Father always felt there was something fishy about this matter without seeing the actual item. How could it be such a coincidence that they had just arrived in Beijing and already seen that bracelet? "Dad, how could I possibly have seen it wrong?" Lu Ru shook Lu Father. "Dad, just believe me. That is definitely our family's heirloom. My aunt is now in Beijing. Let's go find her quickly." "What did the young girl you saw look like?" Lu Father continued to ask. "Does she resemble your aunt? How old is she approximately?" Hearing this, Lu Mother covered her mouth in surprise. Could it be that she remarried? Lu Father furrowed his brows slightly. "Based on my understanding of her, she's not the type to remarry casually, but you can never be too sure about these things." It had been so many years, and much had become a blur in Lu Father's mind. After thinking hard, Lu Ru spoke. "That despicable girl seemed about 18 or 19, pretty gay-looking, I guess. But I feel she doesn't look like my aunt when she was younger." Lu Ru was very vain, always considering herself the world's #1 beauty. There truly weren't many people who could gain her approval of being okay-looking. Hearing her say this, Lu parents knew that the young girl must be exceptionally attractive. 18 or 19? Lu Mother said with a smile. "Your aunt is about the same age as your dad this year. She couldn't possibly have a daughter that young. Women are different from men. Women go through menopause around the age of 50, after which they can no longer have children. As long as a man is physically strong, even at 80 or 90, he still has the ability to father children. Right? Are there any relatives left on her mother's side?" Lu Mother nudged Lu Father with her elbow. "Relatives?" Lu Father scratched his head, then said, "In that era, even if she had a few relatives, I doubt they would have survived. A few decades earlier was the time for denouncing the bourgeois. Then who could that young girl be?" Lu Mother went on. "Could it be that she fell on hard times and had to sell the bracelet?" "Sell? I think it's more likely she stole it," Lu Ru said, curling her lip. Lu Father added, "We can't jump to conclusions yet. By the way, Sheru, where does that young girl live? Let's go have a look now. In the years of denouncing the bourgeois, privately hoarding gold and jewelry was forbidden. Gold and jewelry were worth less than scrap metal. Back then, many people couldn't even trade a gold bar for a bowl of white rice, and if you were caught trading privately, you would be labeled a speculator. So, the likelihood of theft was not high. Although Lu's father was old, he wasn't confused. I don't know where she lives, Lu Ru said. That worthless girl had no manners at all. Ask her one question and she'd explode like she'd swallowed gunpowder. She even pushed me to the ground. I've never seen such a person in my life. If she had been on Bay Island, she wouldn't have gotten away with it. If it were on Bay Island, who would dare provoke her? Only someone with a death wish. Lu's father continued, it could also be a relative from her family. She's alone now, getting on in years, so it wouldn't be strange for her to have given the items to a family member. Right, Sheru, you need to change this temperament of yours. Don't just throw around accusations, calling everyone a despicable girl. If that bracelet really belongs to your aunt, then she's our relative. As he finished, Lu's father also warned, besides, this is Beijing, which is different from our Bay Island. If you truly offend some noble person, even I might not be able to protect you. Taiwan Island is just a small island. But this is Beijing. The total area of Bay Island is about the same size as Beijing, but Beijing is only 1% of China. 100 Bay Islands cannot compare to one China. So, it's necessary to keep a low profile when the time calls for it. I know, Lu Ru replied nonchalantly and then said, Dad, since we're sure that Aunt is in Beijing, let's hurry and find her. She'll definitely be so happy to see us. Lu's father did not speak. Lu's mother said, Exactly. Cher, you're right, we need to find your aunt as soon as possible. Lu Ru went on, Dad, would you be able to give me that bracelet when the time comes? She had taken a liking to the beautiful bracelet at first glance. Lu's mother said with a smile, Of course, well, give it to you. Your dad and I have only you for a daughter. Who else would we give it to if not you? Chapter 9:16. This is too amazing. _2. That's wonderful. Lu Ru was overjoyed, hugging her mother tightly. Mom, thank you. I love you. The mother and daughter were ecstatic, but the expression on Lu Ru's father's face was somewhat heavy. After lunch, Lu Ru's mother hailed a cab and went out on her own. Soon, the car stopped next to an ordinary residential area. Standing in front of the residential area, Lu Ru's mother was filled with deep emotion. The area had changed so much over the decades. She took a piece of paper out of her pocket and, following the address on it, arrived at the second floor. Room 206, this should be the place, she muttered, looking around before knocking on the door. But after knocking for a long time, there was no response. What's going on? Lu Ru's mother frowned slightly and raised her voice. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Instead of the door she was knocking on, the neighbor's door at 207 opened. Comrade, who are you looking for? Feeling a bit embarrassed, Lu Ru's mother said, I'm looking for someone who lives here. By the way, does a doctor with the surname Jiang live here? Are you here to see a doctor? The neighbor scratched his head, looking at Lu Ru's mother. You look quite similar to Dr. Jiang. Are you related? No, Lu Ru's mother quickly denied. I have no family connection with her. I've heard that she has incredible medical skills and has cured many difficult diseases, so I came to seek her treatment. I see, the neighbor nodded, then added, Dr. Jiang hasn't been around for quite a long time. We have no idea where she went. In this era, communication was not well developed, and there was no internet. Since Dr. Jiang was not arrested here, the neighbors had no idea she had been jailed, let alone that she had been executed. Lu Ru's mother frowned slightly, then continued, How long has it been since you last saw her? After thinking for a moment, the neighbor replied, About a month, I guess. A month? That was exactly when they had arrived in Beijing. They had just come here and hadn't settled down yet, so she hadn't come to find Dr. Jiang right away. As she spoke, the neighbor continued, It's odd. When Dr. Jiang was living here, her nephew used to visit her often. But it's been a long time since he last came, And Dr. Jiang is getting on in years, so maybe her nephew took her to live with him and enjoy her old age. Without further conversation, Lu Russ' mother thanked the neighbor and then turned to leave. Had Dr. Jiang really been taken away by her nephew to enjoy her old age? Lu Russ' mother sighed, glancing back at the direction of the residential building, her face filled with worries. Where on earth could she have gone? On the way back, Lu Russ' mother noticed a detective agency and walked in. Jiang Yan. Xiaozi's face changed slightly when he saw who Lu Russ' mother was looking for. Yes, Lu Russ' mother nodded. Could you please investigate where she is now for me? Money is not an issue, I just want to find the person. Then you'll need to pay an 800 yuan deposit first, Xiaozhou said. Lu Russ' mother took out a stack of money from her bag and placed it on the table. May I ask when you will have the results? Smiling, Xiaozhou replied, our agency is very efficient. Come back tomorrow morning and there will be news. Lu Russ' mother nodded. All right, I'll come back tomorrow morning. Leaving the detective agency, Lu Russ' mother still looked rather troubled, an ominous feeling lurking in her heart. Looking through the glass window at Lu Russ' mother's retreating figure, Xiaozhou narrowed his eyes slightly. When Ni Yang returned to Jinghua village, it was already past 12 p.m. She had arranged with the boss selling televisions that he would deliver the TV at 1 o'clock. Seeing that it was about time, Ni Yang set off for Grandma Liu's place. Sister! Little Ni Yun suddenly called out to Ni Yang. Yun. Ni Yang looked back gently and saw little Ni Yun holding a small bucket in one hand and a toy shovel in the other, her tender little face spotted with mud, smiling sweetly at Ni Yang. Grandpa, what are you doing? Ni Yang then asked. Old Master Zheng smiled and replied, I'm thinking of clearing this empty space out here and then planting some flowers. Old Master Zheng was a gardening enthusiast who loved planting flowers. The village had plenty of space, perfect for him. He saw a vacant plot next to the house and, not wanting it to go to waste, decided to turn it into a flower garden. He also planned to dig a little fish pond, so he could enjoy some fishing in his spare time. Ni Yang nodded, then added, if you need any help, just call me. I'm heading over to Grandma Liu's for a bit. Chapter 9:17. This is too amazing. _3. Upon hearing this, little Ni Yun quickly threw away the small shovel and patted his chest, saying, Sister, I can help Grandpa. I'm really great. Elder Zheng laughed and said, Yes, Yun can help me, Yang, you don't need to worry about me anymore. Go ahead and do your thing. Ni Yang arrived at Grandma Liu's house. Grandma Liu was bathing her cat on the balcony. At the time, it was rare in the countryside for people to bathe their cats, but Grandma Liu was such a particular person. Due to her aristocratic birth, she always carried an inherent dignity. Even though she was down on her luck now, that dignity was still preserved. Meow, meow, meow. Grandma Liu had not yet seen Ni Yang. It was the little cat that saw her first. Yang is here. Seeing Ni Yang, Grandma Liu smiled happily. Grandma Liu, you're bathing Depang. Depang was a Chinese orange tabby cat, known for being particularly plump. Depang's plumpness was partly due to the food, as Grandma Liu would even save the food she herself was reluctant to eat for Depang. Depang was not only fat but also very intelligent, which was why Grandma Liu particularly adored him. Grandma Liu smiled and nodded. Yes, it's been several days since Depang last bathed, and it's almost getting infested with bugs. They were chatting when a blue farm vehicle stopped at the doorstep, and a middle-aged man jumped down from the vehicle and shouted, Comrade, is the television to be delivered here? Yes, Ni Yang walked over. Please help bring it inside. All right. Two men lifted the 18-inch television and followed Ni Yang into the house. Grandma Liu was startled. Yang, what is this about? Ni Yang smiled and said, It's like this, Grandma Liu, I won a television from a purchase today, but we already have one at home, so I brought this one over for you, so you can watch it when you're bored. Afraid that Grandma Liu might reprimand her for frivolous spending and worried that Grandma Liu might refuse to accept it, Ni Yang said the television was a prize. You can win a television as a prize? Grandma Liu was skeptical. Really? Ni Yang nodded. Grandma Liu, if you don't believe it, You can ask these two uncles. The two men carrying the television were sharp-witted and quickly smiled. Old lady, this young comrade didn't deceive you. The television was indeed one. This young comrade is really lucky. It's so enviable. Grandma Lu continued, even if it was won as a prize, I still can't accept it. This television is expensive, and you could sell it for quite a lot of money. Old lady, this is also a token of your granddaughter's filial piety. Please accept it. Ni Yang quickly interjected, Grandma Lu, I really treat you like my own grandmother, and you've been so good to me. If you don't accept this television, I won't come to your house to chat next time. Fearful that Grandma Lu might continue to refuse, Ni Yang added, and when you gave me this bracelet last time, I didn't refuse, did I? Truthfully speaking, this bracelet is worth much more than the television. You child. All right, I'll accept it, Grandma Lu said helplessly with a smile. Comrade, do you think placing the television here would be okay? One of the movers asked, pointing to a long table in front of the living room. In the countryside, almost every household has a long table in front of the living room. It's not exactly called a table. In some places, it's referred to as a coffee table, though it's different from a typical coffee table, and in other areas, it's called a console table. The table is usually used to hold clocks, vases, and other ornaments. That's fine, Ni Yang nodded. The two men placed the television on the long table, connected the power, and colorful images immediately appeared on the screen. At that moment, the popular TV series, Travels of the Prowess Shadow, was playing on the television. Grandma Lu exclaimed, people nowadays are really capable, managing to squeeze humans into such a small, square box like this. Who would have dared to imagine this in the past? Ni Yang nodded, yes. Then, Ni Yang taught Grandma Lu how to operate the television. Although Grandma Lu was elderly, her responses were not dull, and though her hearing was occasionally poor, her mind was sharp, and she quickly learned. With the television now there, the once somewhat quiet courtyard immediately became lively. Chapter 9:18. This is too amazing. _4. The first person to discover that Grandma Lu had gotten a television was the neighbor next to Grandma Liu's house, and word spread quickly, so everyone came to watch TV at Grandma Liu's home. Ni Yang had just returned to the Ni family courtyard when she saw Xiaozhou standing at the doorway. Yang, you're back at last. I've been waiting for you for a long time, Xiaozhou said, visibly excited upon seeing Ni Yang. Ni Yang smiled and said, I was just at Grandma Liu's place not far from here. If you were in such a rush, you could have come to find me. Or you could have just called out, and I would have heard you. I didn't want to interrupt what you were doing, Xiaozhou replied. Today, someone who looks a lot like Jiang Yan came to the detective agency to inquire about her whereabouts. Xiaozhou knew that Jiang Yan was the chief culprit behind the poisoning of Chao Lingrui and the two elderly people from the Zheng family, so after Liu's mother had gone, he couldn't wait to come to Jinghua village to tell Ni Yang about it. Jiang Yan? You mean Dr. Jiang? Ni Yang narrowed her eyes slightly. Yes, Xiaozhou nodded. Judging by her accent, she seemed to have come from Taiwan Island, and she doesn't know anything about Jiang Yan's situation yet. Taiwan Island again, Ni Yang frowned slightly. Again? What do you mean? Xiaozhou asked, puzzled. I encountered an unreasonable miss today. Her accent also sounded like she's from Taiwan Island, and Ni Yang continued to ask, by the way, how old did the person looking into Jiang Yan's case seem to be? Xiaozhou thought for a moment. A wealthy lady in her 40s, approximately. 40s, Ni Yang narrowed her eyes. That can't be the same person. Right, come inside, you're standing out here like a fool. Okay. Xiaozhou continued, that was your grandfather and your sister, wasn't it? Right? Ni Yang nodded. Xiaozhou said, your grandfather was too polite. Just now, he kept asking me to come in and sit, and he was about to go to Grandma Liu's house to find you, but I stopped him. He's a bit different from the way people describe him. According to the rumors, old Master Zheng was a stern, no-nonsense old man. Ni Yang laughed and said, rumors are just rumors after all. By the way, did you tell that person about the outcome of Dr. Jiang? Xiaozhou shook his head. I felt that something was odd about this case, so I didn't tell her. I just took an 800 yuan deposit from her and told her to come to the detective agency tomorrow morning to find me. Ni Yang nodded slightly, pushed open the courtyard gate, and brought Xiaozhou inside. As soon as Xiaozhou stepped into the courtyard, he couldn't help but exclaim, "Your family's courtyard is really beautiful." Although it wasn't his first visit to Ni Yang's house, every time Xiaozhou came over he was always astounded. "By the way, what are those flowers blooming on the wall? Roses?" It was August, and the wild roses were thriving on the walls. Among the tender green branches and leaves, bunches of bright red and pink blossoms formed a natural rose wall. It was so pretty it took one's breath away. "They're wild roses," Ni Yang answered. "Wild roses? Did you buy them at the flower and bird market?" "I should plant some in the detective agency's courtyard too," Xiaozhou suggested. He rented the detective agency, which had a large backyard. When there was nothing much to do, the employees would sit in the yard to drink tea, chat, and take a break. No need to buy them. Wild roses are very hardy. There's a whole bunch of them growing on the back hill. How about we go dig up some wild roses and talk?" Ni Yang proposed. "Sure." Xiaozhou nodded his head. Seeing Xiaozhou agree, Ni Yang picked up a basket and a small hoe and led Xiaozhou towards the back hill. As they walked and talked, they quickly arrived at the back hill. Ni Yang had already dug there last year, but the patch of wild roses was still flourishing. She deftly clipped off the wild rose vines, leaving only the roots. Seeing this, Xiaozhou said worriedly, "You've cut off all the vines, how will they survive now?" Ni Yang smiled and replied, "Don't worry, wild roses are very easy to nurture. Although it looks like there's only a little bit of root left now, by next spring it will sprout a large bunch." "Really?" Xiaozhou was somewhat skeptical. Ni Yang nodded. "Of course it's true. Doesn't our rose wall at home look great? However, when we dig them up later, we need to be careful to preserve as much soil around the roots as possible." "Got it." Xiaozhou picked up the hoe and began to dig. In a short while, they had dug up a basket full of wild rose roots. Because they included clumps of soil, the basket was particularly heavy. Seeing Ni Yang about to lift the basket, Xiaozhou hurried to stop her. Yang, let me do it." Chapter 9:19. This is too amazing. _5. "You're going to carry it?" Ni Yang glanced up and down at him. "Can you handle it?" Xiaozhou, speechless, replied, "If I can't handle it, do you think you can? After all, I am a man." Ni Yang shrugged slightly, not wanting to crush his spirit. "Then you try." Xiaozhou walked up to the carrying basket, slipped the straps over his shoulders, but no matter what, he couldn't straighten his back. Damn, it was way too heavy. Having been born into wealth and never having done manual labor, it was normal for Xiaozhou to struggle. Ni Yang had expected this, which is why she had stepped in ahead of Xiaozhou, ready to take over the load. Clamping his teeth tightly, Xiaoz's face turned red, but he still couldn't lift the basket. "Let me do it." Ni Yang approached Xiaozhou, shading him from the sun. "No need." Xiaozhou shook his head. "I can do it." He was a man. He couldn't lose face in front of a girl. He could do it. Xiaozhou psyched himself up internally. Ni Yang, with a smile, said, "Let me do it. We're all brothers here and I won't laugh at you." "Xiaozhou, you're already laughing. If I can't carry it, do you think you can?" Xiaozhou looked up at Ni Yang. Ni Yang's expression remained the same. "Let me try, and then well no." Xiaozhou stepped aside, curious to see whether Ni Yang really could carry it or not. Ni Yang squatted down, effortlessly lifted the basket, and glanced back at Xiaozhou. "Let's go." Xiaozhou stood there, stunned. Damn, that was incredible. If he hadn't tried it himself, he would have thought the basket wasn't heavy at all. Yang, no, Brother Yang." Xiaozhou hurried after Ni Yang. "Brother Yang, you're amazing, aren't you?" Ni Yang raised an eyebrow slightly. "Your brother Yang has trained for this. Of course it's amazing." Xiaozhou gestured with cupped hands. "Respect. Now I finally understand why there's an idiom called heroine in ancient times." If Ni Yang had lived in ancient times, she surely would have been a female general. After coming down the mountain, and Yang arranged to meet up with Xiaozhou the next morning and visit the detective agency. She was quite curious to see who this person investigating Dr. Jiang Yan was, and to figure out what they were all about. The next morning just after 9, and Yang arrived at the detective agency. "How is it going? Has the person arrived yet?" Xiaozhou shook his head. "Not yet." As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaozhou led Yang to a room. "Yang, just sit here later. Look, there's a trick here. If you move this painting, you'll be able to see the opposite side, but they can't see you." "All right," and Yang nodded in agreement. Shortly after, a staff member came to call Xiaozhou. Xiaozhou rolled up his sleeves. "You'll leave first then, make yourself comfortable." "Understood," and Yang nodded slightly. Because she was concerned about Dr. Jiang Yan's situation, Mrs. Liu arrived early. "Hello, Detective Zhou, how is the investigation into Dr. Jiang Yan going?" Xiaozhou pointed to a stool opposite him. "Please take a seat first, sit down and I'll explain everything to you slowly." "All right." Mrs. Liu sat down across from him, removed her hat, and asked eagerly, "So, can you tell me now?" Xiaozhou sighed deeply, his face a picture of solemnity. "Please prepare yourself mentally first." A sense of dread filled Mrs. Liu. Did something happen to Dr. Jiang? Xiaozhou poured a cup of tea and handed it to Mrs. Liu. "Erase the thing." He roughly explained the situation regarding Dr. Jiang Yan to Mrs. Liu. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Liu felt her blood run cold, her face turned ashen, and with a strained smile, she asked, You're joking with me, right?" Xiaozhou sighed again. "Why would I joke about something like this? I'm very sorry, but this is true. If you don't believe me, you can go to the Public Security Bureau to ask. In fact, Dr. Jiang Yan got what she deserved. You don't know how terribly she and Jiang Xiaomin hurt the Zheng family. Chao Lingrui didn't even get a proper burial." This sudden shock left Mrs. Liu unsure how to react. After a long moment, she continued, When did this happen?" Xiaozhou continued, "A month ago." "A month ago?" They had just arrived in Beijing a month ago. If they had come earlier, if she had found Dr. Jiang Yan sooner, could this have been avoided? Mrs. Liu's changing expressions were all witnessed by Yang. Indeed, as Xiaozhou had said, this lady resembled Dr. Jiang Yan, especially the eyes. They were exactly the same. Chapter 920. This is too awesome. _6. Who is this person? Another daughter of Dr. Jiang? But Dr. Jiang seems to only have one daughter. Dr. Jiang used to live in M country, and this person has a Bay Island accent. The locations don't match. Who is she? After learning the outcome about Dr. Jiang, Liu's mother left distraught. After Liu's mother had left, Yang came out from behind the house. "Xiaozhou, what's this person's name?" Xiaozhou shook his head. "I don't know her name either, but she came to investigate Dr. Jiang. She must be related to Dr. Jiang. She looks so much like Dr. Jiang. Could she be Dr. Jiang's illegitimate daughter?" "I don't think so." Yang narrowed his eyes and continued, "Is Dr. Jiang's background easy to check?" Xiaozhou smiled, took out a stack of documents. "I knew you'd ask this. So, when I came back last night, I sorted out some documents on Dr. Jiang." Yang took the documents and read through them meticulously. She discovered that Dr. Jiang was the eldest at home, with a younger brother and sister. The brother, Jiang Daji, is 58 this year, has one son and one daughter, and lives in Beijing now. There's also a sister, Jiang Ji, but she drowned in the sea at the age of 19, and her household registration had been cancelled for many years. The most suspicious person now was this Jiang Ji. Could Jiang Ji still be alive? Yang slightly squinted, placing the documents on the table. "Xiaozhou, do you think that person just now could be Jiang Ji?" "Jiang Ji?" Xiaozhou seemed stunned, then said, "But hasn't Jiang Ji been dead for 35 years? Could it be a stage death?" Yang said, "Stage death?" Xiaozhou frowned, then said, "Why would a perfectly good person stage her own death? Maybe it was because she committed a crime?" Xiaozhou continued, "But staging your own death isn't easy, right?" Yang lightly tapped the table with her index finger. "I always feel this person is not simple." Elsewhere, as Liu's mother walked on the bustling streets of Beijing, her heart felt desolate. She couldn't believe that in just a month, everything had changed so drastically. How could this be? Liu's mother walked up to the mansion where the Liu family lived, then put away her somber expression and pretended to be nonchalant as she entered the house. "Mom, where have you been?" Lu Ru came out from the house just then. Liu's mother responded with a smile. "I felt suffocated in the mansion, so I went out for a walk to familiarize myself with Beijing." "Oh," Lu Ru nodded. "And? Is there any news from Aunt?" Liu's mother asked. Lu Ru shook his head. "Dad has already sent someone to check, but there's no news yet." "Oh." Lu Ru added, "Mom, you seem off. Are you feeling okay?" "No. Is Wentong feeling unwell? Should I get the doctor to come and check on you?" Liu's father came out from the study room upon hearing Lu Ru's words, appearing very concerned. Speaking of Liu's mother, Jiao Weneng, she was a fortunate woman. Having married the nearly 50-year-old Liu's father at 22, she had always been cherished. After so many years, she was still held dear by Liu's father. "I'm fine. I'm probably just not used to the climate in Beijing," said Liu's mother. Liu's father nodded. "Indeed, the climate here in Beijing is not as good as back home. Wenong, don't worry, once we are done here, we'll go back to Bay Island immediately." "Okay," Liu's mother said, then added, "I'll go upstairs to rest for a bit." With that, she walked upstairs. Lu Ru quickly asked, "Dad, did you find out any news about Aunt?" Liu's father shook his head. "It's not that quick. If it takes any longer, all the good stuff will be taken by others." Lu Ru sighed, then said, "We had an agreement earlier, you must give me that bracelet when the time comes." "When have I ever lied to you?" "That's reassuring." Lu Ru continued, "When I run into that savage girl again, I'll definitely teach her a lesson." "What if she's a relative from Aunt's family?" Liu's father asked. Lu Ru sighed reluctantly, "Then forget it. For Aunt's sake, I'll forgive her once, but she really is too savage, too ill-mannered. If she really is a relative from Aunt's family, then Aunt's family really lacks manners." "Is she really that savage?" Lu Qi walked in from outside. Lu Ru nodded. "Very savage. Very ill-mannered. That kind of wild girl couldn't get married if she were in our area." "More than you." Lu Qi joked. "Are you even my brother?" Lu Ru immediately complained to Liu's father, "Dad, look, he's bullying me." Right then, Liu's father chastised Lu Qi. "Lu Qi, you are her older brother. How can you bully Xiaoru like that? Don't do this again." Lu Qi retorted speechlessly, "Dad, just indulge her. Sooner or later, you'll regret it." Lu Ru rolled her eyes at Lu Qi. "An I family." Tonight, Shengguan Su and Shengguan Shi also came back. The whole family gathered in the dining room for dinner, the atmosphere very lively. Shengguan Shi asked, "Yang Yang, when will your college entrance exam results be out?" In the 80s, without the developments of later years, it would take about 20 days after the college entrance exam to get the results. It's already August 10th, and the results still aren't out. But fortunately, since the exams were held in July, the school term also starts later. Anai Yang lightly shook her head. "Not yet. I heard our teachers say that around the 17th or 18th, we might be able to get the results at school." Shengguan Shi smiled. "It's already the 10th today, so soon. By the way, Yang Yang, how do you feel you did?" Anai Yang took a river snail. "It should be okay." Zheng Leo Yizi smiled. "It's okay even if you didn't do well, you can always retake the exam next year." Since Anai Yang seldom attended school, her family was quite worried about her college entrance exam results. Although the Anai family was not short of money, attending university was still very important. This is because university life not only broadens knowledge but also insights and experiences, and it helps expand social connections. At any time, development cannot be separated from social connections. Anai Yang said, "Retaking the exam won't be necessary. I think I did well enough for a first-tier university." "What did you say?" Zheng Leo Yizi was so shocked, his chopsticks dropped on the table. First-tier university? In that era, getting into an ordinary university was considered good. Getting into a first-tier university was beyond impressive. Previously, Even Zheng Xianjing, who was quite talented, ended up in a second-tier university. Enai Yang nodded. Zheng Laoyizi continued, Yang, if you get into a first-tier university, grandfather will go and bring back a truck of firecrackers and set them off for a whole day and night. Chapter 921, Science Top Scholar. Crushing scum in progress. A truckload of firecrackers? Enai Yang said with a smile, Grandpa, you're really exaggerating, aren't you? Old Master Zheng laughed. Not at all, not one bit exaggerated. I didn't do well when I took the college entrance exam. Thinking back on those days, Old Master Zheng still felt some regret. After dinner, Old Master Zheng took little Enai Yun to clear the land. Old Lady Zheng and Old Lady Shangguan chatted in the yard, and, if they found the conversation dull, they'd go together to visit Grandma Lu. Shangguan Dehui went off to work at the school. As for Enai Zuehua, she kept herself busy with her own business. Though a lot had happened, Enai Zuehua never gave up on her spicy strip business. She had now earned 50,000 yuan from selling the spicy strips. 50,000 yuan might not be much to the Zheng family or the Shangguan family, but to ordinary people, it was a considerable fortune. With this 50,000 yuan, Enai Zuehua planned to start her own food factory and expand her business further. She had no desire to be a full-time housewife. Right then, Enai Zuehua was carrying her documents to the bureau to apply for a health permit, eager to get the factory business settled as soon as possible. Time flew by quickly. Before they knew it, the day to check exam results had arrived. Both Enai Zuehua and Shangguan Dehui thought of Enai Yang going to the school to check her results. Enai Yang felt that checking results was a simple matter, and there was no need to make a fuss. The classroom was only so big. If every parent went along, there simply wouldn't be room to stand. It was not appropriate to wear a cheongsam to school, so Enai Yang chose a white mandarin collar blouse cinched at the waist, black wide-leg pants, white sneakers, casually pulled her long hair into a bun, hopped on her bicycle, and set off. In this era, parents took their children's academic performance very seriously, so there were quite a few parents accompanying their children to check their results today, but they were all waiting outside the school gate. Yang. Han Xiaoyu had been waiting at the school entrance for a long time and was particularly excited to see Enai Yang. Xiaoyu. Enai Yang jogged over. Yang, your outfit is really pretty, even prettier than a cheongsam. Han Xiaoyu took Enai Yang's hand and looked her over from top to bottom, left to right. Enai Yang smiled. I just picked it up casually. By the way, has the cutoff score been released? Han Xiaoyu nodded. The cutoff scores are out. The first-tier university's cutoff is 588, second-tier is 525, third-tier is 460, and the college cutoff is 355. And the key 211 and 985 universities start at 600 points. Oh, I heard our school has a runner-up in the science stream. Really? Enai Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Which class? Han Xiaoyu nodded. Really, it's someone from Class 4, I think. There's a huge banner hung up near Class 4's building. They say he scored over 600. Han Xiaoyu was disappointed as she talked about it. She had assumed that with Enai Yang's strong performance, she should have at least become the valedictorian or something. But surprisingly, there was not even the slightest buzz about her. Instead, someone from Class 4 emerged as the runner-up. It was very strange. The two walked on hand in hand. Just then, a boy wearing the school uniform approached them. Enai Yang. Enai Yang looked up slightly. Li Wei? Li Wei nodded. Enai Yang, have you checked your results? Enai Yang shook her head lightly. Not yet. Li Wei wore a small red flower on his chest, his face unable to hide his excitement. I scored 608 this time, and our class teacher notified me a day in advance. Has your class teacher not told you your results yet? You're the runner-up? Enai Yang asked. Li Wei nodded excitedly. Yes. Indeed, choosing to retake a year was the right decision. Last year he only scored over 500, but this year he scored over 600, becoming the city's runner-up. From Enai Yang's expression, he could tell that she hadn't done as well as him, because teachers would generally notify students who did well in advance. Li Wei had never felt such a sense of superiority in front of Ni Yang as he did at that moment. He was the city's runner-up, after all. No matter how calm Ni Yang appeared, he thought she must be admiring him to death inside. Congratulations, Ni Yang's expression remained unchanged. Li Wei continued, Ni Yang, if you didn't do well, don't be discouraged. It's quite an achievement for a girl to get into a college. With your grades, getting into a college should be no problem. Ni Yang nodded. Just as Li Wei was about to say more, Qian Jinfeng ran over from the side. Xiao Wei, what are you doing chatting with her here for? There's a bunch of journalists waiting outside the school to interview you. Chapter 922, Science Top Scholar. Crushing the Scum in Progress. _2. Qian Jinfeng was like a proud peacock, acting as if nobody was good enough to match her son. Her son was the second highest scorer. If this were ancient times, he could have climbed straight up the ranks to a high official position. What about Ni Yang? Ni Yang was just a country bumpkin. A worthless private entrepreneur. Did she think she could aspire to her son's level? She was utterly lacking in self-awareness. Li Dongliang said to Li Wei as he pulled him along, let's go, let's go. Son, we must hurry. We don't want the journalists to get anxious. This was Li Dongliang's first time being on television in all his years. Though it was his son who scored second, he, as the father, basked in the reflected glory. Li Wei looked back at Ni Yang. Ni Yang, you'll be going ahead then, don't be too sad. After all, grades don't represent everything. Let's go, Qian Jinfeng urged as she walked away. Son, why waste words on her? You're not even from the same world as her. Han Xiaoyu looked back at the Li family of three and curiously asked, Yang, you know that second highest scorer? Ni Yang nodded without hiding anything. I met him back when I was running a noodle stall. Han Xiaoyu exclaimed, that's incredible. He even managed to become the top scorer in the entire city. At that time, earning the second highest score was an immense honor. It signified a bright future ahead. They walked and chatted until they reached the classroom in no time. There were already lots of people in the classroom, waiting just for the homeroom teacher to announce the results. Ni Yang's arrival once again caused a sensation. The looks from everyone were mixed. There was admiration, but also mockery, schadenfreude, and other complicated expressions all intertwined. You see, Ni Yang used to often rank first in the entire school, but now, the second highest score had been snagged by someone from class 4. That was a bit strange. Before this, everyone thought that Ni Yang would at least rank within the top 3. But now that the results were out, she didn't even make a splash. I think her high scores in the previous exams were all cheated. I agree. Tiske, what a shameless act. I really thought she was something. Turns out it was all copied. Among them, Zhou Xueme was the happiest. She had despised Ni Yang since the day of the transfer student exam. Ni Yang was not only pretty but also had great grades. As soon as she arrived at city number 3 high, she was nicknamed the school beauty. At that time, Zhou Xueme had found it strange. How could there be such a perfect person in this world? Pretty and smart? Normally, pretty people aren't very bright. So, it was all cheating. Zhou Xueme looked at Ni Yang and said sarcastically, Hiske, you still have the nerve to come to school to check your scores? If I were you, I'd be too ashamed to show up. Ni Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. Why should I feel ashamed to come here? Zhou Xueme had suffered at Ni Yang's hands before and didn't dare to be too aggressive, tauntingly saying, Ni Yang, you used to often rank first in the whole school, didn't you? Why so quiet this time? Not only did you not score high, but Brother Away also got the second highest score. I remember, every time, your grades were way above Brother Away's. Zhou Xueme, what do you mean by that? Han Xiaoyu stood up and looked at Zhou Xueme. Means she cheated? Can't you understand? Zhou Xueme stood with hands on hips. Don't talk nonsense. Yang would never cheat. Han Xiaoyu was furious. She had great faith in Ni Yang's character and knew Ni Yang would never cheat. Perhaps this time it was just a fluke on Ni Yang's part. It's normal to mess up under the intense atmosphere of the examination room. Zhou Xueme retorted. If there was no cheating, then how come she didn't get the scores during the college entrance exam? Always first place during regular tests, but exposed during the college entrance exam. She still has the nerve to say she didn't cheat. What a shameless claim. It's easy to cheat during regular tests, but the college entrance exam was so strict that there was no possibility of cheating, which is why Ni Yang didn't achieve a high score. With these words, the classmates around nodded in agreement, finding Zhou Zuimai's words reasonable. Right, Zhou Xueme is right, Ni Yang definitely cheated. I was wondering how she always managed such good grades, always coming first. It turns out she cheated her way to the top. Han Xiaoyu, less articulate than Zhou Xueme, was beside herself with anger and didn't know what to say. She pointed at Zhou Xueme and stammered, "You? What are you talking about?" Chapter 923, Science Top Scholar. Crushing the Scum in Progress. _3. Let it go, Xiaoyu, why even bother talking to such people? Ni Yang said with a smile as she pulled Han Xiaoyu back to her seat. Seeing Ni Yang react this way only made Zhou Xueme even more arrogant. Look how guilty you are. That's just disgusting. To think you plagiarized. You've totally disgraced our school and our class. Cheater. Ni Yang could keep her composure, but Han Xiaoyu could not. Yang, look at them. Look at that Zhou Xueme. How could she falsely accuse you like this? Yang, why aren't you angry at all? Ni Yang was very calm and smiled. The innocent have nothing to be angry about. Don't be mad either, Xiaoyu. Oh, I brought you some snacks. In situations like this, the best response is to keep silent. Han Xiaoyu was a real food lover. Upon hearing about food, her eyes lit up. What kind of snack? Ni Yang took out a cup of New York milk tea and a box of glutinous rice dumplings from her backpack and handed them to Han Xiaoyu. Yang, I love you so much. Han Xiaoyu hugged Ni Yang excitedly. Han Xiaoyu loved New York milk tea and their sweets, but there was always a long queue for New York milk tea, and some of the items were limited editions, not always available even if you had the money. Ni Yang had her ways, always managing to get them. I'll pay you. Han Xiaoyu pulled out 50 cents and handed it to Ni Yang. Ni Yang smiled and said, You always insist on paying, but we are about to graduate. This treat is on me. Although Han Xiaoyu loved her food, she never took advantage of Ni Yang. Even if Ni Yang refused to take money, she insisted on giving it to her. Teacher's office. It wasn't just the students of Class 5 who were taken by surprise, but also the homeroom teachers of various classes. Everyone thought Ni Yang would surely be in the top 3. Unexpectedly, the second top spot went to someone from the neighboring Class 4. Ni Yang didn't make even a splash. Such a disappointment. Coincidentally, Zhang Chang taught Class 4. He walked up to Teacher Su, all smiles. Teacher Su, hasn't the admissions office called you yet? With Ni Yang's marks, she should at least be the city's top scholar, right? That last remark was clearly meant to be sarcastic. If a school had a student scoring in the top 3, the city admissions office would notify them in advance. Journalists would also arrange to come for interviews in advance. That's why everyone else didn't know their scores yet, but Li Wei had already been informed he was the second top scorer. Before Ni Yang was assigned to his class, Zhang Chang was incredibly envious, especially seeing her score first in the whole school. Unexpectedly, she didn't have what it takes. Her past achievements were clearly plagiarized. Such people reveal their true colors come examination time. Everyone thought Ni Yang was a dragon, but it turned out she was just a pool of pus. How disappointed Zhang Chang had been before, he was now equally triumphant. Second top in the city. A student taught by him. Fortunately, Ni Yang wasn't moved directly to his class back then, or he would have been the laughingstock now. Zhang Chang patted Teacher Su on the shoulder. Teacher Su, don't be too upset. Such rankings are not that important. Not every student can score high. It's already quite an achievement for our school to have Li Wei from our class as the second top scorer. As he finished speaking, Zhang Chang looked toward the principal and continued, Principal, the journalists are waiting at the door to interview me. I'll head over there first. You should come soon too, they'll definitely want to interview the school's principal. All right, the principal nodded. Actually, the principal was also very disappointed with Ni Young. He had thought that Ni Young would definitely clinch the city's top scholar spot. He had even bragged to the principals of the neighboring number 1 and number 2 schools, claiming that this year's city top scholar would undoubtedly be from their school, only to be blindsided by Ni Yang's performance. Fortunately, the city's second top scholar was still from their school. Otherwise, it would have been a complete disgrace. On reflecting upon this, the principal felt a bit better. He sighed and said, "Teacher Su, what's going on with Ni Young? Her previous performance wasn't really plagiarized, was it? It's true what they say, the greater the expectations, the greater the disappointment. Previously, Ni Young had done so well, every teacher used her as a model for their classes, her name always on their lips, even her essays used as examples. Everyone wished they could go back and tell their past selves off. Isn't this presenting students with a negative example?" Chapter 924, Science Top Scholar. Crushing the Scum in Progress. _4. Teacher Su pushed up his glasses. "No, I believe our Ni Young wouldn't plagiarize." As a teacher, Mr. Su had great faith in Ni Yang's character. He believed she wouldn't plagiarize. With Ni Yang's character, she wouldn't even dignify that by stooping to do such a thing. The principal sighed again, but the fact that Ni Young didn't achieve the results is true. Just like Teacher Zhang said, given Ni Yang's previous mock test scores, she should have at least secured the top position in the city. If not that, at least she should have been among the top 3, right? You know, her previous results were much better than those of Li Wei. Now that Ni Young didn't achieve the scores, how could everyone trust her? Teacher Su pushed his glasses up again. "I'll call the city admissions office and ask." Zhang Chang shook his head. "Teacher Su, you should face reality. I think Ni Young has been academically dishonest. That's why she resorted to these stealthy tactics." Teacher Su was very angry. But he couldn't refute without evidence. His rebuttals had no grounding. Just as he was about to make a call, the phone on the desk rang. "Hello, good day." Teacher Su answered the phone. It was not clear what was said on the other end, but Teacher Zu's expression gradually hardened, and after a long pause he finally said, What did you say?" The person on the other line repeated the words. "Really? The top scorer in the city's exam is really our Ni Young." Teacher Su jumped up excitedly. Even though he was in his 50s, he was as joyful as a child at that moment. "Comrade, are you sure there's no mistake? This is City High School number 3, I am Su Lei, the homeroom teacher of senior year class 5, he said, holding the handset in one hand and picking up a piece of paper with the other hand, continuing, "Our Ni Yang's examination registration number is 340823. Yes, Teacher Su, this year's science subject top scorer in the exams is your student Ni Young, who achieved a high score of 648 points. Moreover, she is also the national top scorer. Congratulations." Teacher Su was almost floating. 648 points. You must know, the total possible score was only 650. What did Ni Young eat to grow up with? How could she be so brilliant? Thank you. Thank you, comrade. I'll treat you to a meal sometime, Teacher Su, overwhelmed with excitement, blurted out. Just as he was about to hang up the phone, he suddenly thought of something. Right, comrade, wasn't the top scorer usually notified in advance? Why was it so late this time? They had thought that Ni Yang's previous results were false, so she didn't do well in the exams. The person on the other end explained, because Ni Yang's results were so exceptional, our admissions office had to review them several times. Initially, when the admissions office learned of Ni Yang's results, they even suspected that there might have been errors during the marking of the papers. Thus, they conducted several detailed checks and after confirming there were no issues, they finally dared to call Teacher Su. Teacher Su nodded. "Oh, I see. Comrade, you really worked hard." As soon as Teacher Su hung up the phone, the principal, who couldn't wait any longer, grabbed Teacher Zu's arm and asked, "Teacher Su, was that a call from the city admissions office?" Teacher Su nodded. The principal continued, "Ni Young won the top position in the city?" Teacher Su nodded again. The top position in the city? It was really the top position in the city. The principal thought he was hallucinating and asked several times over. Then, the principal asked, "Then why didn't the city admissions office notify us earlier?" Teacher Sue explained the process again, and after hearing it, the principal was stunned. What? 648 points. Ni Yang scored 648 points. Yes. Teacher Sue nodded, continuing, the comrade from the city admissions office also said that Ni Yang is not only the city's top scorer but also the national top scorer in science. Really? The principal was ecstatic. Really? Teacher Sue was even happier than the principal. It felt like being vindicated after being falsely accused. Just 10 minutes earlier, so many people were doubting that Ni Yang's previous results were plagiarized, but in the blink of an eye, Ni Yang had won the city's top position. It felt incredibly satisfying. The principal continued, "Teacher Sue, I apologize. I wronged your student, Ni Yang. She is truly amazing." Teacher Sue pushed up his glasses. "It's not much for me, but Ni Yang might feel a bit wronged. Just a moment ago, when I passed by the classroom, I saw many people accusing her of plagiarism." Chapter 925, Science Top Scholar. Crushing the Scum in Progress. _5. Upon hearing this, the principal's face showed a hint of guilt, and he apologized somewhat embarrassedly. "I'm really sorry, Teacher Sue, I shouldn't have doubted Ni Yang. Rest assured, I will personally apologize to Ni Yang." Teacher Sue laughed and said, "Principal, you are being too serious. Our class Ni Yang is not the petty type. She probably didn't even take this matter to heart." Exactly. Our national topper definitely isn't petty." The principal excitedly patted Teacher Zu's shoulder. "Teacher Sue, you are truly amazing to have taught a national topper." Just then, when Teacher Zhao from Class 2 of senior year entered, he overheard this remark. "National topper?" He asked, somewhat confused. "Has Beijing produced a national topper? From which school?" The principal excitedly said, "It's Ni Yang from Teacher Zu's class." Truly, Teacher Sue deserves great credit for teaching such a talent. National topper? Not to mention Third City Middle School, even Beijing hadn't produced a national topper in a long time. Is there some mistake?" Teacher Zhao expressed doubt. Hadn't he heard that Ni Yang's past achievements were plagiarized? How had she suddenly become a national topper? Also, weren't the top 3 ranks usually notified in advance? The principal arrogantly said, "The city admissions office personally called. How could there be a mistake?" Teacher Sue knew about Teacher Zhao's doubts and explained the reasons to him. Teacher Zhao said enviously, "Teacher Sue, you are really incredible. Having taught a national topper, Teacher Zu's future is truly boundless." Before this, Teacher Zhao's most admired person was Zhang Chong, as Zhang Chong's class had a student who became city's second best. But now, Teacher Sue had actually taught a national topper. Could a city's second best compare to a national topper? Next to the national topper, the city's second best couldn't even be seen. Teacher Sue humbly said, "Not at all, I just taught casually. The talented one is Ni Yang from our class." Before long, everyone in the office knew about Ni Yang being the national topper. Everyone gathered around Teacher Sue, expressing admiration. Just a short while ago, people were doubting Ni Yang's plagiarism and scoffing at Teacher Sue, but now, the tables had turned. It would be false to say they weren't pleased and proud. The honor of being a national topper was enough for Teacher Sue to be proud for a lifetime. Teacher Sue smiled and said, "I won't talk much longer with you all. I'm off to announce the college entrance exam results to our class. Ni Yang must be getting anxious." The principal quickly said, Go. Don't keep Ni Yang waiting." Teacher Sue entered the classroom. "Everyone, quiet down. I'm about to announce the college entrance exam results." Hearing this, the classroom immediately fell silent. Teacher Sue started reading out the scores one by one. Li Xiaoman, 498 points. Han Xiaoyu, 588 points. 588 points. Hearing this score, Han Xiaoyu was thrilled, hugging Ni Yang tightly. "Yang, pinch me. see if I'm dreaming. Although Han Xiaoyu's usual test scores were not low, the college entrance exam papers were very tough this time, and high scores were generally rare. This was Wei Li Wei, with a score of 608, managed to secure the second-best rank in science. 588 points had just touched a cutoff line. How could Han Xiaoyu not be thrilled? Ni Yang smiled and pinched her cheek. Relax, you're not dreaming. Zhou Xuemei sat right behind them. Tisuke, what's there to be proud of? Cheating dog. Ni Yang didn't pay her any mind. On stage, Teacher Su continued announcing the scores. Zhou Xuemei, 591 points. Zhou Xuemei scored 3 points higher than Han Xiaoyu. She was extremely proud, waving her score sheet in front of Ni Yang and whispered, "See? 591 points. Jealous? Our school's number one?" Teacher Su intentionally left Ni Yang's score for last, so it took a long time without mentioning Ni Yang's score. So, everyone speculated whether Ni Yang even reached the third-tier college admission score, which is why Teacher Su delayed announcing it. For a moment, the looks towards Ni Yang became even more complex. After announcing everyone else's scores, Teacher Su tapped the ruler and then said, "Next, the teacher has an important announcement." The class quieted down. Teacher Su swallowed, then continued, "This time, our class has produced a national topper." National topper? As these words were spoken, everyone's expressions varied. Chapter 926, Science Top Scholar. Crushing the Scum in Progress. _6. All the scores were reported, and their class didn't have a single person who scored over 600. Who could the national top scorer be? Could Teacher Su be dreaming? It was at this moment, Han Xiaoyu suddenly realized that there was still one person whose score hadn't been announced. She turned her head to look at Ni Yang. "Yang, could it be you or the national top scorer?" Because the classroom was particularly quiet, Han Xiaoyu's voice seemed especially loud. Upon hearing this, Zhou Xuemei burst out laughing. "Han Xiaoyu, are you dreaming? She could be the first in the nation?" Everyone knows that high scorers get notified early. There's no way the runner-up from the class next door has appeared, and the top scorer of the city hasn't. Logically, the top scorer of the National College entrance examination should be notified even earlier. Following Zhou Zuimai's laughter, other students in the class also laughed along. "Teacher Su, stop joking around with us. Who in our class could possibly be the national top scorer?" Teacher Su pushed his glasses up and said with a smile, "I am not joking with you guys. The person who is the national top scorer is Ni Yang." As he spoke, Teacher Su personally brought the score report to Ni Yang. "Ni Yang, congratulations. You achieved an outstanding score of 648. Not only are you the science top scorer of our city, but also the national science top scorer." Ni Yang was still a bit stunned at this moment. She knew her scores weren't too bad, but she had never imagined that she would accidentally become the number one in science. "Thank you, Teacher Su." Ni Yang stood up and reached out with both hands to receive the score report. The classroom, which was somewhat noisy, suddenly quieted down. 648 points. 648 points. What did 648 points represent? It meant that Ni Yang must have scored full marks in at least 5 subjects. That was terrifying. The students who had mocked Ni Yang were now frozen, faces full of complex expressions. Especially Zhou Xue, whose face had all the colors of the rainbow, looking extremely amusing. Just now, she had been so proud of her 591 points, not expecting that Ni Yang would become the city's top scorer in an instant. Moreover, she had just viciously mocked Ni Yang. Now her face was in unprecedented pain. And it was especially hard for her to digest. Why did Ni Yang get to be first? Did she cheat? But there was absolutely no chance of cheating in the college entrance examination. Zhou Xuemei was suffering so much. Her heart twisted with envy. Teacher Su brought over an exaggeratedly big red flower and wanted Ni Yang to wear it. However, Ni Yang kindly refused. Being humble at the right time was still necessary. Teacher Su didn't insist on Ni Yang wearing it. Not wearing the big red flower couldn't take away the fact that she was the national top scorer. After announcing the scores, teacher Su led everyone out to take the graduation photo. Yang, you have to treat me to a meal. You definitely have to. Han Xiaoyu was even happier than if she had become the national top scorer herself. She just knew Yang hadn't cheated. It was all about winning that pride. Of course, that's a given. Tell me, where do you want to eat? Han Xiaoyu said with a smile. I can pick anywhere? Of course. Yang nodded. Han Xiaoyu said, then, can I pick National Beauty for a big meal? Yang nodded, no problem at all. Seeing Yang agree so earnestly, Han Xiaoyu laughed. I'm just joking with you. I've heard that National Beauty is not only super expensive, but it also requires a membership card. Otherwise, you have to wait in line. It's not a place that just anyone can go into so easily. You treating me to a bowl of noodles would be great. Han Xiaoyu was just teasing Yang, never intending to really go to Gus Tianxiang for a meal. Yang smiled and said, I was just joking with you too. She planned to give Han Xiaoyu a surprise quietly. When they went out to take their graduation photos, a bunch of journalists were interviewing the salutatorian, his family, as well as Zhang Chang at the campus gate. Li Wei saw Yang and her classmates walking from that direction, his face full of a sense of superiority. Yang must be envious of him now. After all, he was the salutatorian. But some things, even if envied, could not be obtained. Just then, a journalist extended the microphone and asked, Li Wei, as our city's salutatorian, can you tell us about your self-awareness? Li Wei was about to answer when a large group of journalists surged in from outside, and he was startled. Were all these journalists here to interview him? It must be so. After all, he was the city's salutatorian. A rare genius seen once in a century. Thinking this, Li Wei straightened his collar. He wanted to be on television in his best spiritual state. Because then, everyone in the country, including Yang, would see him. Just as Li Wei was about to answer the journalist's question, the journalist's pager suddenly rang. The journalist glanced at the pager and his excited expression changed. Oh my God! The national top scholar. It's been years since Beijing produced a national top scholar. Everyone wanted to interview this national top scholar first. The journalist quickly pulled the microphone away from Li Wei and ran with the others towards the campus. Li Wei was dumbfounded. Weren't these people here to interview him? The national top scholar? Did someone from City Number 3 High School become the national top scholar? Li Wei suddenly felt his brain wasn't quite keeping up. Did their school really produce a national top scholar? That shouldn't be right. If there really was a national top scholar, one would expect the news to have been posted earlier, not waited until now. Qian Jinfeng very dissatisfiedly said, What are these journalists doing? Have they gone mad? Xiaowei, don't pay any attention to them later when they come begging to interview you. Zhang Chang also felt quite baffled. Because he was so eager to come out for the interview, Zhang Chang completely missed the news about Yang being the national top scholar. At that moment, a breathless journalist stopped in front of Li Wei and took out a microphone. Hello, student, are you Li Wei, the salutatorian of the science division in Beijing this year? Subsequently, many other journalists also took out their microphones. Seeing this, Li Wei breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed there were still people who wanted to interview him. Those journalists must have made a mistake. They would come back soon. Li Wei straightened his back and continued, Yes, I am Li Wei. Qian Jinfeng hurried over and said, I am Li Wei's mother, Qian Jinfeng. The salutatorian is my son. It was her first time on television, and Qian Jinfeng was particularly excited, even wearing light makeup and a skirt she usually didn't wear. She couldn't wait to announce to the whole world that she had a son who had become the salutatorian. Li Dongliang, of course, wouldn't miss this good opportunity to be on TV. I am the father of the salutatorian, Li Dongliang. Zhang Chang cleared his throat. I am the homeroom teacher of student Li Wei. The journalist continued, Li Wei, do you know the national top scholar Yang? Are you in the same class as her? What's her usual attitude towards studying like? How much do you know about her? Chapter 927. Just like this, conquered by you. Although we couldn't interview the national top scholar, interviewing a fellow alumnus is also possible. Perhaps the alumnus knows some exclusive news. Upon hearing this, Li Wei was stunned. What? He only felt a buzzing noise around his ears. The national top scholar? Ni Yang is the national top scholar? Was he experiencing auditory hallucinations? The others around him wore the same expression as Li Wei. Seeing that Li Wei hadn't spoken for a while, the journalist continued, "Student, Li Wei, are you listening?" Li Wei then came to his senses. I'm listening." The journalist repeated the previous question. Li Wei didn't answer the journalist's question but instead asked, Ni Yang scored the national top scholar? This was simply too unbelievable. How could Ni Yang possibly score the national top scholar? What in the world was going on? Just a second ago, Li Wei was basking in the joy of having secured the second highest city rank, but the next second, he felt like he had fallen into an ice cellar. A chill spread throughout his body. Zhang Chang beside him was completely flustered. How could Ni Yang have achieved the national top scholar? If she had scored the national top scholar, why hadn't there been any indication beforehand? "Comrade journalist, you must have made a mistake," Zhang Chang said with a stiff smile. "Our school only has one second highest city ranker, and that's our classmate Li Wei. Ni Yang wasn't one who cheated, was she? How could she possibly score the national top scholar? This had to be a mistake. He was the only outstanding teacher this year." Just then, a commotion arose from behind. "Here they come. Over there. The one beside the principal is the national top scholar. Let's hurry over." The journalists who had originally surrounded Li Wei, in that instant, all ran off. Li Wei also turned his head to look. He saw Ni Yang being surrounded by a crowd, walking this way, like the moon surrounded by a halo of stars. She really was the national top scholar? Li Wei licked his dry lips, not knowing quite what to feel. Qian Jinfeng was about to go mad. The most brilliant person was supposed to be her son. How could that cheap girl Ni Yang become the national top scholar? Wasn't she just a small business owner? How could she take away all the journalists? "Come back. All of you come back. My son is the runner-up. Don't you want to know about his study methods?" "Mom, stop it." Li Wei pulled Qian Jinfeng back. "Aren't you ashamed?" Reluctantly, Qian Jinfeng closed her mouth. "These people are crazy. Crazy. They leave you, the runner-up, uninterviewed, to actually go interview that small business owner. Who knows if her national top scholar title is even real?" Qian Jinfeng said. Li Wei sighed. "If you question whether hers is fake, others could also question if my second highest city rank is fake. Mom, stop talking nonsense. The college entrance exam is a serious matter. Be careful of bringing trouble with your words." Hearing this, Zhang Chang nodded in agreement. "That's right, Li Wei's mother, Li Wei is right. You could end up being legally responsible." The college entrance examination was so strict that it was absolutely impossible for cheating to occur. Frightened, Qian Jinfeng quickly covered her mouth. Zhang Chang suppressed the discomfort at the bottom of his heart, patted Li Wei on the shoulder. "Li Wei, even though Ni Yang scored the national top scholar, you shouldn't be discouraged. You secured the second highest city rank. The teacher is already very happy. This is the first time I have taught a student who achieved such a rank. As a teacher, one must not say things that could harm a student's spirits at times like this." Zhang Chang wasn't a muddle-headed person either. Li Wei nodded. "I understand, Teacher Zhang." Li Wei truly felt bitter. He had been proud of having scored the second highest city rank and had even advised Ni Yang not to be discouraged. But unexpectedly, the situation had turned upside down in an instant. He was merely the second highest city ranker. How could he compare with Ni Yang? "Xiaowei, don't be sad, you are still the pride of your father's heart." Li Dongliang patted Li Wei on the shoulder. Li Wei nodded again, then turned his head to look over at Ni Yang. At that moment, Ni Yang was being interviewed by journalists. Upon seeing Ni Yang, the journalists were quite amazed. "Who said that good students weren't pretty? Look how beautiful Ni Yang is." No matter from which angle the camera shot, There were no blind spots. Moreover, not only was Ni Yang beautiful, but she also had an excellent demeanor, without the typical nerdy air of someone who had buried themselves in books. She was youthful and vibrant, truly a representative of contemporary students. Ni Yang, when did you find out you were the national top scholar? Asked a journalist. Ni Yang, how are you feeling right now? Chapter 928. Just like this, conquered by you. _2. Can you share your regular study methods with the viewers in front of the television? Ni Yang, confronted with the many questions from the journalists, wasn't at all stage frightened. She adjusted the microphone and leaned forward slightly. I just found out about this news myself. As for how I feel, it would be false to say I'm not happy, since one of the 3 great joys in life is to see one's name on the golden list. If someone said they were not thrilled and were calm at such a time, it would be far too fake. After all, even Ni Yang hadn't expected that she would become the national valedictorian in science. Though she was happy, she was not impulsive. She was like an orchid blooming in a quiet valley, serene and delightful. Then can you share your regular study methods with us? The journalist asked again. Ni Yang replied lightly, actually, achieving good results is inseparable from the guidance of my teachers. I am very grateful to all my teachers for their painstaking instruction. Teachers, you have worked hard. At the end of her statement, Ni Yang offered a slight bow. What is this called? This is called remembering the source of the water when drinking it. You cannot let success make you arrogant and forget the hard work of your teachers. In her past and present lives, Ni Yang had always been a businessperson. She knew how to build good relationships and that one must be adept in handling various situations. Hearing this, Teacher Su and the teachers of other subjects were overjoyed. Ni Yang was just too sensible. What does it mean to have a proud student? This is what it means to have a proud student. The journalists immediately passed the microphone to the teachers, letting them share their educational insights with everyone. The Chinese, mathematics, English teachers, and so on were all surrounded by the journalists in an impenetrable crowd. Since the reinstatement of the college entrance examination in 1977, number 3 high school in the city had never seen such excitement. After interviewing in a circle, another wave of commotion spread through the crowd. The mayor is here. It really is the mayor. At this time, the mayor coming over was obviously here to commend the national valedictorian. The journalists quickly gathered around. The mayor was extremely excited. Keep in mind that Ni Yang scored first in the national science examination. She not only brought glory to the school, but she also brought glory to Beijing. Besides, Ni Yang's total score was 648 points. There was a 20-point gap between her and the second place. Yet between the second and the third place, there was only a 2-point gap, and only a 1-point gap between the third and the fourth place. The gaps between the fourth, fifth, and subsequent places were at most 3 points. But Ni Yang had outpaced them all by a long shot. It goes without saying how formidable Ni Yang's ability really was. Hello Ni Yang, the mayor extended his hand. I am Wu Jianhai, the mayor of Beijing, and on behalf of all the citizens, I congratulate you on achieving the national valedictorian in science. Ni Yang shook hands with the mayor. Thank you, Mayor Wu. Having become the national valedictorian, the reward was certainly not going to be meager. The mayor then presented Ni Yang with a cash reward of 5,000 yuan. Naturally, to be fair and just, as this year's city salutatorian, Li Wei also received a reward of 500 yuan. The country values education highly. These individuals are the future pillars of the nation. Clutching the 500 yuan in his hand, Li Wei couldn't quite pinpoint his feelings. In the 80s, 500 yuan was a lot. A regular family could not earn 500 yuan in a year. If it had been an hour earlier, Li Wei would certainly have been overjoyed. But now, he couldn't feel happy at all. Compared to Ni Yang's 5,000 yuan, what was his 500 yuan? He felt like a complete joke. Li Wei jerked off the big red flower from his chest, just about to throw it into the trash, but as he reached out halfway, it was as though he reconsidered something and withdrew his hand, putting the flower back on. Today was his high school graduation day, and if this act was spotted by others, it might invite criticism. He couldn't be like this. Although he did not score as well as Ni Yang, he was still the salutatorian, and he could not lose his dignity. After composing himself, Li Wei approached Ni Yang. Ni Yang, congratulations to you. Thank you, Ni Yang smiled faintly. As Li Wei was about to say more, he was abruptly pulled away by Qian Jinfeng. So the national valedictorian is a big deal. The wheel turns, what's on top today may be on the bottom tomorrow. It's still unknown what the future holds. Xiaowei, let's not bother with her. Li Wei, feeling very uncomfortable at the moment, had no desire to argue with Qian Jinfeng, offered Ni Yang an apologetic smile, and left with Qian Jinfeng. After the journalists conducted their interviews, Class 5 began to arrange for the graduation photo. Chapter 929. Just like this, conquered by you. _3. In an era where communication technology was not advanced, graduation photos were still very important. After today's farewell, some people might never have the chance to meet each other again in their lifetime. Unlike later generations where you can keep in touch through WeChat, QQ, back then even big cell phones weren't produced yet. Hence, Ni Yang brought her family's camera specially today. After the graduation picture, she could also take individual photos with other classmates. Yang, take several more pictures for us, Han Xiaoyu urged as she and a female classmate struck the classic scissor hands pose. Okay, Ni Yang pressed the shutter and took several shots. At that time, not many families could afford a camera, so more and more classmates came to Ni Yang for photos. Ni Yang did not refuse anyone, fulfilling everyone's requests regardless of gender. After the photos, Ni Yang also collected everyone's home addresses, planning to mail the developed pictures later. Seeing that Ni Yang was also going to handle the mailing, classmates started offering money. Film for the camera and postage costs money, doesn't it? Ni Yang declined with a smile. Consider it a graduation gift from me. This was an excellent opportunity to establish connections. Class 5 students had performed exceedingly well, and their future prospects were boundless. Even the most unremarkable one now had endless possibilities in the future. You should never underestimate anyone at any time. After taking photos, a few teachers were especially happy and planned to treat the whole class to a meal, which was essentially a parting gathering, as it would be difficult to get everyone together like this again after today. Hearing that teachers were treating them, all the classmates were overjoyed and cheered immediately. Several teachers took everyone to a state-owned restaurant. Though teachers' salaries weren't high at the time, their class had a country's top scorer, and the overall college entrance rate was very good, so there would definitely be rewards from above. Hence, the teachers didn't skimp on ordering. Anything on the menu was fair game, and they ordered more than 20 dishes of meat alone. With 60 people in Class 5, plus the teachers making it over 60, 20 dishes wasn't a lot for teenagers with big appetites. When life is successful, one should enjoy to the fullest. Ni Yang was the star of the gathering. She raised her glass and toasted everyone. Thank you for looking after me this past year, teachers and classmates. They'll drink to that first. A full glass of white liquor, and Ni Yang didn't even frown as she downed it. Being a successful businessperson, how could she not drink? Ni Yang's tolerance was honed in her past life. Seeing Ni Yang so hearty, her classmates at the table were astounded. Ni Yang, you really can hold your liquor. Wow. Ni Yang, I thought you didn't drink. Ni Yang was so beautiful, who knew she could drink too? It was really surprising. The teachers were also surprised, fearing that their own tolerance might not match Ni Yang's. Ni Yang smiled and said, my mother also has good tolerance, probably it's genetic. After a round of toasts, everyone began to feast heartily. Current times, everyone's home food was generally not rich, but today's meal with meat and alcohol made them extremely happy. The mood was infectious, and even the girls who usually abstained from alcohol began toasting each other. An hour later, everyone was slightly tipsy. As they ate, the atmosphere suddenly turned sentimental. After all, after this meal, everyone would be going their separate ways. Groups of classmates started sharing their heartfelt thoughts, unable to part from each other. Yang, which university are you applying to? Han Xiaoyu asked Ni Yang. Yihua University, Ni Yang replied. Since Ihua University was in Beijing, it was easier for Ni Yang to look after her business. Han Xiaoyu sighed. If only my scores could reach the threshold, I would apply to Ihua University too. Unfortunately, her scores were just enough for a first-tier university. Ni Yang lifted her glass, her lips curving into a light dimple. Don't worry, Xiaoyu, we're both in Beijing, and we'll have plenty of opportunities to meet in the future. Rest assured, our friendship will never change, no matter what. Han Xiaoyu raised her glass to Ni Yang's. You're right, Yang. No matter what, our friendship will always remain the same. With that, Han Xiaoyu also emulated Ni Yang, finishing her drink in one gulp. Chapter 930. Just like this, I am conquered by you. _4. The cheap liquor burned as it went down, inexplicably choking. Han Xiaoyu's eyes reddened from the choking, and she hugged Ni Yang tightly. Yang, I've decided, I'm going to Normal University in Beijing and become a teacher. They'll teach a batch after batch of national top scholars. Good, Ni Yang nodded. Dinner lasted more than 2 hours before finally breaking up. On the way back, Teacher Su found Ni Yang alone. Ni Yang, are you going to apply for Ihua University? Ni Yang nodded. Yes. Teacher Su continued. Principal said that with your grades, going to Harvard would be no problem at all. Haven't you considered Harvard? Ni Yang not only had no problems getting into Harvard, but Harvard would also waive all tuition and fees, provide free room and board, and once Ni Yang filled out the application for Harvard, her household registration would also be transferred to M country along with her student status, making her an official citizen of M country. This was something many people yearned for but couldn't achieve, and yet Ni Yang was actually considering Ihua University? Ihua University was very good too, but Harvard was, after all, world-ranked, and the difference between these two prestigious universities was significant. Ni Yang smiled and said, Ihua is quite good. Besides, my parents are both in Beijing, and I don't want to go too far away. Teacher Su nodded his head. Actually, thinking from another angle, Ni Yang's choice of Ihua University wasn't bad either, as she would be able to contribute to the country after graduation. If she went abroad with her talents, America would surely do everything possible to keep her. In that case, the country would lose a talent. When Ni Yang got home, the family hadn't started dinner yet. Everyone was waiting for Ni Yang to come back and dine together. After all, today was a big day for Ni Yang. Even Shangguan Shi and Shangguan Su hadn't left the house. Seeing that Ni Yang came back so late, everyone thought that Ni Yang might not have performed very well, and they didn't dare to ask directly about her scores for fear of discouraging her. Grandpa Zheng smiled and said, Yang Yang's back, come and eat. Ni Yang said in surprise, Grandpa, you haven't eaten yet? I'm so sorry, it's all my fault. I got carried away and forgot you were all waiting for me at home. Please, go ahead and eat. Ni Yang truly hadn't expected everyone to be waiting at home for her to have dinner together. If she'd known this, she would have called ahead no matter what. Excited? Grandpa Zheng was taken aback. Could it be that Ni Yang had done well? Otherwise, why forget to call home being so excited? Yang, how did you do? Grandpa Zheng asked. Ni Yang smiled mysteriously. Grandpa, have you got that cart of firecrackers ready? A cart of firecrackers. Upon hearing this, Grandpa Zheng couldn't believe his ears. Yang, did you get into first-tier university? Tai Yang shook her head. No. The smile stayed on Grandpa Zheng's face. It's okay if it's not first-tier. Even getting into second-tier university is enough for me to buy a cart of firecrackers. Ni Yang smiled and said, Grandpa, I didn't get into a second-tier university either. Then what did you get into? Grandpa Zheng asked in confusion. Third tier? Grandma Zheng interrupted Grandpa Zheng. You old fool, is it not a university if it's not one of those tiers? As far as I'm concerned, as long as she gets into any university, that's fine. What's all this about second tier and third tier? Yang, don't listen to your grandpa. Grandma Zheng was a very cultured person and rarely used foul language. Today, she had been irritated by Grandpa Zheng. She was afraid Grandpa Zheng might hurt Ni Yang's self-esteem. Ni Yang looked up at the people by the table. Grandma, Grandpa, Grandma, parents, big brother, Sister Xiaoxi, I scored 648 points in total and am this year's science top scholar. As soon as these words came out, the room went silent instantly. Science top scholar? And Yang actually became the science top scholar. Was this an illusion? What? Grandpa Jing grabbed Yang's hand. Yang, what did you say? Grandpa, you heard right, I'm this year's science top scholar, Yang said. Grandpa Jing's voice trembled. Top scholar? Yes, Yang nodded. Goodness. Science top scholar. Yang, you're not joking with us, are you? Grandpa Zheng was so excited he was almost incoherent. No, Yang shook her head. Shangguan, she stood up excitedly. Is it our city's science top scholar? Yang smiled and said, the national science top scholar. National? My goodness. Grandpa Zheng's eyes welled up with excitement. This must be Grandpa Zheng's ancestors blessing the Zheng family. I'll go notify our relatives right away. Grandma Zheng quickly headed upstairs. Chapter 931. Just like this, I am conquered by you. _5. I also need to tell Furong and the others. Old Lady Shangguan also stood up. The two elders couldn't wait to announce it to the world. Shangguan Su stood up and said, Yang, congratulations. When you become successful, you can't forget your big brother. Yang smiled and said, don't worry, I definitely won't. Tsuehua looked at Yang, feeling a flood of emotions, her eyes slightly reddened. Shangguan Dehui knew Yang was smart. From the start, he knew Yang wouldn't perform poorly, but he never expected that Yang would actually top the national science exam. This kid had completely exceeded his expectations. Shangguan Dehui smiled and said, Yang, with your scores, getting into Harvard is no problem at all. It seems this year Beijing University, Ihua University, and Harvard will have a tough competition over you. There are many top scorers, but national top scorers are only 2 each year. All the major universities are vying for them. The lengths they go to snatch the top scorers each year are simply endless. Yang said, I don't want to go abroad. I want to attend Ihua University. Ihua University? Shangguan Dehui was surprised since he was a professor at Ihua University. Yang nodded. Ihua University is a century-old institution with strong faculty and a key university. Moreover, it's close to home, so I want to go to Ihua University. In Yang's opinion, Ihua University was not inferior to Harvard. In his past life, some students from Harvard didn't even match up to those from Ihua. As long as you study well, it's the same wherever you are. Shangguan Dehui nodded. That's great, I'll go back and talk to our principal. He'll probably be overjoyed. Yang scored the top national science spot, and the entire family was extremely happy. At night, the news was broadcast on time. Grandpa Jing, Grandma Jing, and Old Lady Shangguan sat in front of the TV, glued to the screen, afraid of missing anything. After a while, Grandma Jing excitedly pointed at the TV and said, Here it comes. Here it comes. Yang is on. Ting ding. Dehui. Xiao shu xiaoxi. Come quickly. Yang is on. Hearing her voice, Shangguan Dehui and Tsuehua dropped what they were doing and rushed over. Shangguan Su and Shangguan Shi also ran over. The calmest person in the family was Yang. Having been a frequent guest on TV in his past life, he was quite used to it. Old Lady Shangguan picked up the phone and dialed Shangguan Furong. Furong, you better turn on the TV right now, Yang is already on. Shangguan Shi rested her chin on her palms and watched Yang on TV. Yang, is that male classmate over there from your class? Yang turned his head. Seems like he's from the next class. Although he didn't spend much time in class, he still recognized his classmates. Shangguan Shi poked Yang's arm. I noticed he keeps sneaking glances at you. Does he have a crush on you? Yang crossed his arms and said narcissistically, very likely. After all, the people who like me could circle the earth 3 or 4 times holding hands. Ha, Yang, you're really narcissistic. Grandma Zheng and Old Lady Shangguan were also amused by Yang. This kid. Grandpa Zheng said seriously, Yang, don't forget you already have a boyfriend now. You can't behave recklessly behind old ex's back. That's wrong. And Yang, smiling, said, Grandpa, don't worry, I was just joking. Aren't you too unlovely? Demingxian. Du Jiaojiao was watching the news in the living room, just in time to catch the broadcast about this year's national science topper. Du Jiaojiao was about to remark, this science topper is really good looking. Looking closely, wasn't that Yang? Damn. Yang actually became the national top scorer in science. Du Jiaojiao hurriedly called out to Du Yi, Third brother, come here, something has happened. Di walked out of the study room unhurriedly. What's up? Look at the TV. Du Jiaojiao pointed at the TV. Du Yi, still calm and composed, appearing as if he had expected it all along, countered, What's so strange about that? Du Jiaojiao took a sip of water and then said, Last time I heard Yang say he doesn't go to school much, I thought his grades were poor. But it turns out, that looks can be deceiving. Du Yi glanced at her. Looks can be deceiving? Isn't that a pejorative phrase? Du Jiaojiao added, What I mean is, I didn't expect Yang to be so good-looking and yet also perform so well academically. Aren't people with good grades usually nerds? Like Du Lei. Chapter 932, Just like this, I am conquered by you. _6. Du Lei was the 8th child in the Du family and a true bookworm. His pet phrase is always, Confucius says, and, thus, and so, and such. Yang didn't have a bit of this habit. Elder Du twirled his Buddha beads. There are many things you wouldn't think of. What do you mean? Du Jiaojiao turned back to look at Elder Du. Do you know Yang well? Elder Du turned and walked towards the study. If there's nothing else, I'll head back to the study room now. Du Jiaojiao pointed at the TV. Aren't you going to watch? Watch it yourself. How boring. Du Jiaojiao rolled her eyes. She had once thought that maybe Elder Du liked Yang. Now it seemed that Elder Du was still the same as before. A person without a heart. Elder Du returned to the study, picked up the brush, and continued with his painting. On the pure white canvas was the background of a brilliant night sky, surrounded by pitch-black jungle, a bonfire burning under a big tree. A strand of black hair fell from the tree. The fierce flames burned fiercely, threatening to destroy the painting. After a few more strokes, Elder Du put down the brush, rolled up the canvas, placed it in the cabinet, and picked up a Buddhist scripture to read softly. Buddhist scriptures had a calming effect. Soon after, Du Jiaojiao entered from outside, disdainfully saying, chanting scriptures, you're chanting again. She followed up by saying, the moon is very round tonight, let's go have a drink. Elder Du glanced over lightly, not awake yet? Du Jiaojiao waved her hand, fine, I know you don't drink alcohol. Forget I asked. Jinghua Village. Ever since Elder Lu got a TV, almost every evening at dinner time, everyone would bring their bowls and leech off Elder Liu's TV. Tonight was no exception. When everyone saw Yang on the TV, they were stunned. My goodness! Isn't that Yang? Yes, it's Yang. Look at the introduction below, Beijing City and Jinghua Village jurisdiction. Yang is so amazing. I always knew Yang's mom was lucky. The happiest person was the village chief. A national top scholar came from their village. How could the village chief not be happy? He was just about to visit the Ni family to offer his congratulations when the officials came, saying that journalists would arrive tomorrow for an interview in Scholar Village and asked the scholar to prepare. Scholar Village. The moment the village chief heard those 3 words, he felt like he was floating. Although it was Yang who had become the top scholar, the village chief also felt honored. The entire village felt honored. Especially when he heard that their village would be on TV tomorrow, the village chief was even more excited. Yang had always been their village's lucky star, and now she was the pride of their village. The village chief rushed to the Ni family to discuss the matter with Yang. When the village chief arrived, the Ni family's living room was packed with villagers who had come to offer their congratulations. Everyone was thrilled to hear that their village would be on TV tomorrow. The next day, as promised, journalists came to Jinghua Village for the interview. They casually interviewed a villager from Jinghua Village. Oh, you mean Yang Yang? Yang Yang has always been very polite and especially filial. If my boy were even half as outstanding as Yang Yang, I could die with my eyes closed. Are you here to see Sister and I Yang? We are all Sister and I Yang's protectors. Yes, we all especially love Sister and I Yang. Yang Yang is a good child. Across Jinghua village, regardless of gender or age, whenever Ni Yang was mentioned, everyone's face would light up with a genuine smile from the heart. This alone made it clear that Ni Yang was truly outstanding. This was what it truly meant to be excellent in character and learning. In no time, Ni Yang had become the proverbial child of someone else that all the parents talked about. She also became a role model for the contemporary youth to follow. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. Ni Yang hadn't visited the mall to check the accounts for 5 days, and taking advantage of the nice weather today, she cycled to the city. The top scholar of the entire country had quite the influence, and several employees recognized her when she went to check the accounts at the department store. Although Lu Ru had just arrived in Beijing, she had made quite a few good friends there, and upon their recommendations, she had become a fan of the department store's products. Because the products from the department store were just too good to use. As she was queuing, she suddenly spotted a familiar figure. That despicable girl. Light flashed in Lu Ru's eyes as she tugged at her companion's sleeve. "Yaya, wait here for me, I've got something to take care of real quick." "Okay," Leah nodded. Lu Ru ran out to the mall entrance in one breath and found a public phone booth to make a call. "Hello, brother. Hurry to the Jinghua department store. I've spotted that despicable girl from that day." Lu Qi said, "Xiaoru, you mustn't be impolite like last time, nor are you allowed to call her a despicable girl again. They'll be right there." Lu Qi was quick to act. He hung up the phone and drove over. Lu Ru pointed and said, "Bro, look, that's her over there." "The most beautiful one?" Lu Qi squinted his eyes. Lu Ru reluctantly nodded. Lu Qi touched his chin and said, "She doesn't seem as rude as you described." From Lu Ru's descriptions, Lu Qi had almost believed the other person to be an unruly woman. He hadn't expected her to be so attractive in person. Taiwan Island was known for its beautiful women, but none of them could hold a candle to the girl in front of him. Lu Ru rolled her eyes at Lu Qi. "Don't be fooled by her nice appearance, she's actually got a terrible temper. Extremely impolite. No home training. You'll see in a minute." Lu Qi continued, "Just don't be too impulsive later, you'll have a proper talk with her." The siblings waited on the side for quite a while, until Ni Yang finally came out of the department store. Lu Qi jogged to catch up with Ni Yang. "Comrade, please wait a moment." Ni Yang glanced back slightly. "Do you need something?" Lu Qi pulled over Lu Ru and continued, "Comrade, this is my sister Lu Ru, and I'm her brother Lu Qi, Qi as in the Qi used in a poet's writing and chess. I would like to apologize for my sister's behavior last time. I'm really sorry, comrade." Lu Ru was stunned on the side. Her brother was actually making her apologize to this despicable girl. Weren't they supposed to talk it out? Why apologize? It wasn't her fault. Ni Yang sized up the siblings and had a pretty deep impression of Lu Ru. A haughty young lady like her was indeed a rare sight in Beijing nowadays. "I've received your apology, was there something else?" Lu Qi choked up a little, not expecting Ni Yang to respond that way. As the saying goes, 100 years of repair to share the same boat. Our meeting amongst the sea of people is also a kind of fate. "Comrade, do you have some time? Perhaps the three of yous could find a spot to grab a bite and have a chat?" Chapter 933, She's Not That Kind of Person, second update. Sit down and eat? Ni Yang frowned inconspicuously except when she couldn't avoid social niceties. She didn't have a fondness for dining and chatting with strangers. "If you have something to say, just say it," Ni Yang said lightly, pointing to the rest chairs in the mall. "We can go sit there." Ni Yang had an intuition that this brother and sister were here for the bracelet. "Oh, all right," Lu Qi said as he took Lu Ru's hand and walked over. These days, the mall's rest chairs were very simple. Lu Ru sat on the chair reluctantly. If looks could kill, Lu Qi would have died hundreds of times by now. Usually, her brother was quite reliable, but she hadn't expected him to turn into this upon meeting a pretty girl. Just say what you have to say, and Yang broke the silence, being the first to speak up. Lu Qi pondered for a moment before saying, "Well, comrade, may I boldly ask where you bought the bracelet on your hand? Is there a problem with my bracelet?" And Yang's brows and eyes were clear and bright. Lu Qi cleared his throat and continued, "It's like this. There's a long-lost elder in our family whose bracelet is identical to yours. So, we are wondering if the person who sold you the bracelet could be our elder," and Yang followed. "Are you that sure that the bracelet is your family elder's?" "Look at this," Lu Qi said. As he spoke, Lu Qi took out an old photo, which didn't capture a person, but a jade bracelet. Although it was a black and white photo, the details were captured very clearly. Anyone who knew their stuff would recognize at first glance that the two bracelets were one and the same. And Yang took the photo and scrutinized it carefully. After a moment, she handed the photo back to Lu Qi. Lu Qi took back the photo. "Comrade, what do you think? Can you believe what I said now? This bracelet truly belongs to my family elder, and frankly, it's also our family heirloom. Comrade, can you tell me where the person who sold you the bracelet is now? Could it be that Lu Qi and Lu Ru were Grandma Liu's descendants? But they didn't look anything like Grandma Lu." And Yang's expression remained cool. "What relation is that elder to you?" Lu Qi said, "She's my aunt." Aunt. Normally a term of respect for one's father's brother's wife. Could it be that they were all Grandma Liu's nephews and nieces? Grandma Liu was currently all alone. If she could find family, that would be nice. And Yang continued, "I can't just take your word for it, I need to go back and verify. I think you just don't want to return that bracelet." Lu Ru interrupted, "Do you realize that bracelet is our family heirloom? What you're doing is theft." It was just too shameless. They had made it so clear, yet she still didn't want to return the bracelet. Lu Qi frowned. "Xiaoru, don't be so impolite. Comrade, I'm sorry, my sister is just like this." Lu Ru could be angered to death by Lu Qi. If she had known it would turn out like this, she wouldn't have called him over. Good for nothing whose loyalties lie elsewhere. That bracelet is originally our family heirloom. And Yang wasn't upset and looked up at Lu Ru. "Why don't you just claim the entire mall is your family heirloom then? Legally, what you're doing is called slander." Lu Ru was left speechless. Too outrageous. This shameless girl was really just too much. Seeing Lu Ru's mood worsening, Lu Qi quickly pushed her behind him and smiled apologetically to Yang. "Don't be angry with her, comrade. My sister, she just didn't grow a brain, you shouldn't stoop to her level." And Yang, sensing Lu Qi's attitude was still decent, continued, "To tell you the truth, my bracelet was also given to me by an elder from my family. I'll go back and ask her, and check the situation. If it turns out you are telling the truth, I'll let you know her address. By the way, do you know her name?" Lu Qi said, "I don't know my aunt's name, but she would definitely know my father's name. He is Lu Haoshan." And Yang nodded slightly. "Okay, I got it. I'll tell her once I get back." "Thank you for your trouble," Lu Qi continued. "Do you mind telling me your name?" Instead of answering directly, Yang asked, "Will you have time tomorrow?" "Yes," Lu Qi nodded instinctively. And Yang took a watch out of her pocket and checked the time. "Then let's meet here at the same time tomorrow afternoon." "Agreed, it's settled then," Lu Qi nodded again. After saying this, Yang turned and walked away. Lu Qi watched Yang's departing figure, his lips curved into a silly smile. "Brother, why did you just let her go like that?" Lu Ru was nearly fuming with anger. Lu Qi didn't turn back as he spoke. "Didn't she say she would come again tomorrow?" Lu Ru said in exasperation, "You believe what a woman says? Who knows if she will show up tomorrow afternoon?" Lu Qi said firmly, "She's not that kind of person." Chapter 934, Great Beauty. Siblings? Some people, just by looking at their faces, you can tell their character. Lu Qi believed that Yang was not one of those people. Lu Ru snorted coldly, "You speak as if you know her so well. I am going back to tell our parents. Let them break your legs." Yang didn't linger in the mall. After meeting siblings Lu Qi and Lu Ru, she went to visit Grandma Lu. Grandma Lu was holding Depang in her arms, watching Huang Mei opera. The opera, Meng Jiangnis bitter weeping at the Great Wall, brought tears to Grandma Liu's eyes. Grandma Liu. Ni Yang gently tapped on the wooden door. It's you, Yang Yang. Grandma Liu turned around, wiping her tears. Depang meowed, leaping from Grandma Liu's lap onto Ni Yang. Come, have a seat. Grandma Liu patted the small bamboo chair beside her. Ni Yang walked over and sat down. After some small talk, Ni Yang brought up the important matter. Grandma Liu, do you know Liu Haoshan? Liu Haoshan? Grandma Liu frowned. I don't know him. Could you think about it a bit more? Ni Yang continued. Grandma Liu shook her head. I still don't recognize that name, Yang. Why are you asking about this Liu Haoshan all of a sudden? Then, Ni Yang mentioned the matter concerning siblings Liu Qi and Liu Ru. Their heirloom. Grandma Liu said angrily, what kind of people are these siblings? When did my bracelet become their heirloom? Yang Yang, don't pay attention to them. This bracelet has always been mine. Nobody else's heirloom. Ni Yang continued, Grandma Liu, could it be possible that they are your long-lost relatives? Their father is called Liu Haoshan. Are you sure you don't know Liu Haoshan? Grandma Liu firmly shook her head. I may be old, but am not senile. I'm certain I do not know Liu Haoshan. I suspect they just want to swindle your bracelet, Yang. Don't let them deceive you. Aside from her parents, Grandma Liu had 3 older brothers, 1 younger brother, 8 sisters-in-law, and about a dozen nieces and nephews, all lost during the war. Some died, some disappeared. That year of the war, Grandma Liu had been newly married when the sudden conflict took her husband's life. Whenever she recalled these memories, it became hard for Grandma Liu to breathe. Grandma Liu wiped her eyes, continuing, Now, I'm just a lonely old widow. I don't have any relatives left. Ni Yang took out a handkerchief to wipe Grandma Liu's eyes. Grandma Liu, don't be sad. Aren't you still have me? Yes. Grandma Liu nodded. She felt fortunate to have met Ni Yang in her twilight years. Had it not been for Ni Yang, she might have been gone from this world long ago. In old age, even a common cold or fever could be life-threatening. Once, Grandma Liu had lain in bed for 3 days with a fever. If Ni Yang hadn't come to see her, the grass over her grave would be several meters high by now. That's why Grandma Liu had given Ni Yang her most precious possession. She truly regarded Ni Yang as her own granddaughter. Worried that Grandma Liu might miss out on meeting her relatives, Ni Yang suggested, Grandma Liu, how about I arrange a meeting for you? Better to recognize mistakenly than to miss out on a possible miracle. I don't want to meet, Grandma Liu waved her hand. Decades have passed. If a miracle were to happen, it would have happened by now, not dragged out till today. Since Grandma Liu was unwilling to meet, Ni Yang didn't say much more. The next day, Ni Yang took a set of limited edition skincare products and punctually met at the mall as agreed. When Ni Yang arrived, she found not only the siblings, Liu Qi and Liu Ru, but also an elderly man with white hair and a middle-aged woman. Seeing this middle-aged woman, Ni Yang was stunned. How come she felt this person looked so much like Dr. Jiang? The features were at least 70 or 80% similar, only much younger than Dr. Jiang. Just then, Ni Yang suddenly remembered, the siblings Liu Qi and Liu Ru had come from Taiwan Island. Could this person be the one Xiaozhou was talking about? Was she the one investigating Dr. Jiang? What was her relationship with Dr. Jiang? Was she Dr. Jiang's illegitimate daughter? What hidden stories lay beneath all this? Ni Yang subtly furrowed her brow. You are here, comrade. Liu Qi, seeing Ni Yang, greatly relieved. He knew Ni Yang was not the type to break promises. Ni Yang nodded. Chapter 935. Great Beauty. Siblings? Liu Qi continued, This is my father, and this is my mother. Ni Yang was taken aback. Before Liu Qi introduced them, she had thought that the white-haired old man was Liu Qi's grandfather, and that the middle-aged woman and that man were father and daughter. But it turned out they were husband and wife. It really was an odd match. Liu Qi added, My parents are very concerned about my aunt's condition, so they came with me. Please don't mind, comrade. Ni Yang smiled politely and greeted Liu Qi's parents. Liu Qi then introduced Ni Yang to his parents. Mom, Dad, this comrade is the one who might know about my aunt. Seeing Ni Yang, Liu's father was visibly excited, eyes reddening. Young comrade, what's your name? With an apologetic expression, Ni Yang said, Uncle, I might disappoint you. I checked with my family's elder last night. She said she does not know you or Lu Haoshan. How could this be? Lu Russ' face changed. I think you haven't even told my aunt. You just want to keep our family heirloom for yourself. Xiaoru. Liu's father frowned, scolding Lu Ru. Liu's father had never lost his temper with Lu Ru before. This was the first time. Startled, Lu Ru immediately shut her mouth, glaring resentfully at Ni Yang. Wretched girl. Liu's father looked at Ni Yang and continued, Young comrade, there are too many twists and turns that I cannot explain to you all. Could you please tell me where she is now? Once she sees me, she will recognize me. Liu's father had a premonition that the elder Ni Yang mentioned was the person they were looking for. I'm sorry, I cannot tell you. Ni Yang shook her head. Little comrade, Liu's mother grabbed Ni Yang's hand, crying profusely, we have been looking for our child's aunt for decades. Over the years, we haven't eaten or slept well. She has suffered so much alone, and now she is old, we want to bring her back to enjoy her twilight years. Please, young comrade, would you do us this favor? I'm begging you. Liu's mother covered her face as she cried, while discreetly eyeing the jade bracelet on Ni Yang's wrist. Exquisite, clear, its brilliant verdant color interspersed with streaks of translucent white. Smooth and flawless. It was a top-grade jade. This was their family's heirloom. How could it have ended up on someone else's wrist? Liu's mother wished she could remove the jade bracelet from Ni Yang's wrist that very moment. Ni Yang said, Auntie, you're really mistaken. My family's elder is not the person you're looking for. Perhaps it was because Liu's mother looked somewhat like Dr. Jiang that Ni Yang had no particularly good feelings toward her. Moreover, since Liu's mother was asking about Dr. Jiang's whereabouts, this meant Dr. Jiang must have some connection to her. The saying about the company one keeps influencing one's behavior is not without basis. Lu Qi stepped forward. Comrade, don't rush to deny it. Whether she is my aunt or not, we'll find out after we meet. Please just help. My aunt is already 78 this year. If we miss this chance, we might never get to meet her in this lifetime, and some regrets last forever. Liu's mother hurriedly said, Yes, young comrade, whether she is my long-lost older sister, the children's aunt, you can't decide, neither can we. We need to meet her to conclude. With the bracelet here, they were sure they wouldn't mistake the person. The person must be senile to have given such a valuable heirloom to someone else. Ni Yang shook her head. I'm sorry, my family's elder refuses to meet you. Ni Yang couldn't speak on behalf of Grandma Lu to agree to their request. Liu's father sighed. Fire seemed to spark from Lu Ru's eyes, wishing she could burn a hole in Ni Yang. She saw Ni Yang's actions as deliberate. Ni Yang was coveting her aunt's possessions. If it weren't for Liu's father being there, she would have burst out cursing. It was infuriating. Carrying their family heirloom and now even preventing them from recognizing their relative. Heavens! How could there be such shameless people in this world? Liu's mother, clutching Ni Yang's hands, unintentionally touched the translucent jade bracelet, its cool touch relieving the summer heat, truly an heirloom's hallmark. Chapter 936, Great Beauty. Siblings? _3. Under the current circumstances, we can only act subtly, not forcefully, Lu Mu continued. Comrade, I beg you. The children's great aunt, for our family, is truly very important. I am kneeling down for you. As she spoke, Lu Qi's mother attempted to kneel before Ni Yang, who thankfully stopped her in time. Auntie, please don't do this. Comrade, just let these two children fulfill their filial duties to their great aunt. After so many years, their great aunt must have suffered a lot out there. We've only just managed to find out about her whereabouts. How can you bear to see us endure the pain of being apart from her? We just want her to live well in her last moments. Lu Qi's mother cried so much her voice was nearly lost, tears streaming down her face. Sorry, I can't help you with this. Enai Yang pushed away Lu Qi's mother's hand. Auntie, I have other things to tend to, I'm leaving. With that, Enai Yang turned and left. Lu Qi's mother tried to hold onto Enai Yang, but Lu Qi's father stopped her. Lu Qi's father watched Enai Yang's retreating figure and called out loudly, Comrade, if the children's great-aunt is willing to meet with us, please come find us at the mansion in Beijing. Enai Yang moved quickly, disappearing from sight in a moment, leaving it uncertain whether she heard the words or not. Why did you stop me just now? Lu Qi's mother asked Lu Qi's father, continuing, Don't you want to find our elder sister? Lu Qi's father shook his head. Since they don't want to talk, even if you cry your eyes out, it's useless. As long as we're sure she's in Beijing, we'll find a way. After saying this, Lu Qi's father continued, Besides, I've already given her our address. If the children's great-aunt wants to see us, she will surely send her to find us. Okay, Lu Qi's mother nodded, then all right, I'll listen to you. Lu Qi's mother was a particularly perceptive person. She wasn't spoiled or arrogant, not even with Lu Qi's father's pampering, and would never make unreasonable demands. In front of Lu Qi's father, she was always a gentle and clingy person, because only a gentle and clingy person could satisfy a man's vanity. If she didn't have any tactics, would her status in Lu Qi's father's heart have remained the same for so many years? Hearing this, Lu Ru angrily said, I knew it, that wretched girl is no good. Maybe she never even told my great-aunt about this. She must have her eyes on my great-aunt's possessions. It's so shameless. Those things belong to our family, what right does she have to take them? The more Lu Ru thought about it, the more she became convinced it was true. Their family had been separated from their great-aunt for so many years. Surely, the great-aunt would dream of seeing them, so how could she refuse a meeting? It was clearly Enai Yang causing trouble. Shut up. Lu Qi looked at Lu Ru, his face stern. You can't talk about her like that. I will talk. What are you going to do about it? Lu Ru retorted while hiding behind Lu Qi's father. She's just a wretched girl. Shameless. You. Lu Qi raised his fist as if he was about to hit Lu Ru. Hit me then. Go on and hit me. Lu Ru taunted Lu Qi while making faces, feeling fearless with her parents there. If you dare, come over here. Lu Qi's mother looked at Lu Qi and then said, You're her older brother, can't you be a little more lenient with your sister? I think Zyrus right, it must be that little brat eyeing your great-aunt's wealth, which is why she's going out of her way to stop us from recognizing each other. The little girl is not old, but she sure has a big appetite. Just don't know if she can handle it all. Lu Qi frowned. Mom, please don't talk nonsense, she's not that kind of person. Lu Qi's mother said with displeasure, You don't even know her name, and yet you're so sure she's not that kind of person? Anyway, she's just not. Lu Qi couldn't really lose his temper with his mother. There's a saying, a son is a son until he takes a wife, but a daughter's a daughter all her life. His son hadn't even taken a wife yet, and he was already forgetting his mother. Thinking of this made Lu Qi's mother's brow twitch. Could that little girl be doing this on purpose? Was she deliberately trying to draw Lu Qi's attention, intending to marry into the Lu family? She absolutely couldn't let such a thing happen. Lu Qi's mother looked at Lu Qi. Xiaoqi, you've always been a very sensible child. I hope you can think this through properly. That little girl is definitely not ordinary, she might be setting a trap for you. Lu Qi nearly laughed at this remark. Mom, please be sober, will you? At this point, she doesn't even bother to give us a second glance. Do you think she would waste her energy setting a trap for me? Chapter 937. Great Beauty. Siblings? _4. He did want Enai Yang to set a trap for him. If Enai Yang was willing to set a trap, he would definitely jump right into it. But the problem was, she simply didn't bother to do so. Lu Qi was very self-aware and had a good eye for people. He could tell that Enai Yang was different from the other girls he had met before. Liu's mother glanced at Lu Qi and then said, I don't care, but let me say this up front, my future daughter-in-law must be chosen by me personally. Not just anyone can enter the Lu family's door. I know, Lu Qi replied in a muffled voice. Liu's father timely interjected, that young lady just now, she isn't that kind of person, When you and Xiaoru, if you meet her again, make sure not to say anything rude. Who knows, all these years, your aunt may have relied on that young lady quite a bit. Liu's father could see that Ni Yang was not the type of girl who was greedy for money. Jiao Weneng always followed her husband's advice, and upon hearing this, she nodded and said, "Yes, I know. My sister has suffered so much over the years, I'm fully aware. I'm not targeting that young girl we just met, I'm just worried that our Xiaoqi might be deceived. You know how naive our child has been since he was young, unaware of how much he's been taken advantage of by girls." After speaking, Jiao Wenong continued, "I wonder how my sister is doing now. Whether she's healthy. I really want to bring her here to stay with us soon, to let her enjoy a few good years." Liu's father sighed. From the looks of that young comrade, she probably hasn't suffered much this year. Lu Ru chimed in, "Almost every day Mom prays for blessings for my aunt, even after coming to Beijing, she has not stopped. Surely heaven has been moved by my mom's sincere heart, that's why my aunt hasn't suffered." Jiao Wentong said a bit embarrassedly, "Xiaoru, what are you talking about? It's only right for me to pray for blessings for your aunt." Liu's father patted Jiao Wentong's hand, "Weneng, you've worked hard these years. Xiaoru is right, it must be your sincere heart that touched heaven." Jiao Wentong simply smiled without speaking. At this moment, not replying was the best reply. Following behind, Lu Qi said speechlessly, "Mom and Dad, can we please stop promoting superstitious beliefs? If heaven really could be moved by my mom, then our whole family wouldn't need to work, no one in the entire country would need to work. We could all just sit at home and pray for blessings every day. It's up to us to make things happen. If Auntie didn't have someone to take care of her, who knows what might have happened by now." Upon hearing this, Jiao Wenong felt a surge of anger in her chest, stuck somewhere between rising and falling, making her very uncomfortable. Always ruining her moment. Is this really her own son? Unfortunately, Jiao Wenong had no way to retort. Liu's father looked at Lu Qi. "Regardless of whether it's useful or not, this is your mother's sincerity. I believe your aunt can definitely feel it." Jiao Wenong was a rare good wife and mother. When Liu's father first married Jiao Wentong, he was worried that this little spoiled wife might become arrogant. Later, he realized he had been overly concerned. Jiao Wenong had not only not become arrogant but was exceptionally gentle. In Jiao Wenong, Liu's father even found a sense of his younger days. "Right." Lu Ru nodded, "Auntie can definitely feel it." After leaving the mall, Ni Yang didn't go home immediately but made a stop at Demingxian. Today was Du Jiaojiao's birthday, and she had invited her a week ago. Du Jiaojiao didn't have many friends in Beijing, so the birthday was not a big celebration. Including Ni Yang, there were only 3 people. Fu Xiaoshuang didn't come this time. This surprised Ni Yang, as last time it seemed that Fu Xiaoshuang and Du Jiaojiao were good friends. Why didn't she come? As a rival in love, Ni Yang had a deep impression of Fu Xiaoshuang. "Yang Yang is here." Seeing Ni Yang, Du Jiaojiao immediately came over. "Let me introduce you. This is Wang Hengyang and Liao, good friends of mine and my younger brother. Wang Hengyang, Liao, this is Yang Yang, her full name is Ni Yang." Ni Yang took the initiative to greet them, "Mr. Wang, Miss Li." Wang Hengyang and Liao, who were both very enthusiastic, promptly stood up, "Miss Ni." Du Jiaojiao laughed and said, "What's with this Mr. and Miss? It's too formal. We're all friends here, just call each other by names." Chapter 938, Great Beauty. Siblings? _5. They quickly became acquainted, going back and forth like this. Wang Hengyang said, "We've been sitting here for so long, why hasn't Master Du shown up yet?" Liao was also quite puzzled. Du Jiaojiao laughed and said, "He's chanting scriptures in the Buddha hall. Really, I don't know what joy there is in living like that." Wang Hengyang said, "Master Du truly is as constant as ever." Everyone in their circle knew that Master Du practiced vegetarianism and chanted Buddhist scriptures, but few knew he could keep it up for so long. Du Jiaojiao continued, "Liao, you've just arrived in Beijing, you mustn't have dined at Heavenly Colors yet. Today I'll take you there, I guarantee you'll find it irresistible after just one meal. By the way, Yang, Have you been to Heavenly Colors? At this point, Du Jiaojiao turned her head to look at Enai Yang. Enai Yang nodded. I've been. Du Jiaojiao then said, how was it? The food at Heavenly Colors is amazing, isn't it? It's indeed quite good. Enai Yang unconsciously touched her nose. This shouldn't count as self-praise, right? Hearing Du Jiaojiao glorify Heavenly Colors, Wang Hengyang and Li Yao were skeptical. Just another restaurant, could it really be that miraculous? In Shen City, what restaurant hadn't they tried? What delicacies from mountains and seas hadn't they tasted? Seeing their disbelief, Du Jiaojiao chuckled. Once you go, you'll understand. Yang, could you check in the Buddha Hall how much longer my third brother will be? We're eager to go have dinner. Du Jiaojiao and Enai Yang were quite casual with each other. She often sent Enai Yang on errands, and Enai Yang did the same with her. Mainly, while Master Du was chanting in the Buddha Hall, the household staff didn't dare to disturb him, but Enai Yang was different. After all, Enai Yang was Mo Kishin's girlfriend. He wouldn't get angry with her no matter what. Okay. Enai Yang put down her cup and walked towards the Buddha Hall. As Li Yao watched Enai Yang's figure disappear in the direction of the door, she whispered softly, oh my God. That girl is so beautiful. Jiao, how do you know her? Du Jiaojiao said, she's my third brother's good friend's girlfriend. She even saved my third brother once by some fluke. Li Yao nodded. Oh, I see. It's a pity she settled for a boyfriend looking that gorgeous. Du Jiaojiao was taken aback. How is being beautiful related to having a boyfriend? Li Yao continued, if I were as beautiful as her, I definitely wouldn't settle down so early. I'd like to pass through 1,000 admirers without a single one touching me. Keep dreaming. Du Jiaojiao poked Li Yao's forehead. It's only because our Hengyang is so tolerant. Anyone else would have left you by now. And you're dreaming of passing through crowds. Enai Yang reached the Buddha Hall. Just as she reached the door, Enai Yang heard the familiar sound of the wooden fish. Enai Yang raised her hand and knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Master Du slightly raised his eyes, a hint of annoyance flickered in them, but it faded away as soon as he saw who it was. He put away the wooden fish. Big brother Du, Sister Jiaojiao is asking when you will be done? I'm done now. Master Du straightened his clothes, stood up from the cushion with meticulous movements, the essence of dignity and grace in every deliberate motion, and put on his cloth shoes. Let's go then, said Master Du as he walked to the door. Oh. Enai Yang nodded. Walking along she asked, don't you ever get tired of chanting and striking the wooden fish every day? Master Du slightly raised an eyebrow. Do you get tired of eating every day? Is that the same? Enai Yang retorted. Master Du said, to me, it is the same. Soon, the two reached the main hall. 5 people, 2 cars. Wang Hengyang and Li Yao took 1 car, while Master Du, Jiaojiao, and Enai Yang took another. Master Du sat in the front passenger seat, while Jiaojiao and Enai Yang were in the back seats. Perhaps due to some fateful connection, Jiaojiao became exceptionally talkative whenever she saw Enai Yang. Perhaps sitting in front felt bothersome after a while. Master Du slowly leaned back, his hands turning Buddha beads, and began to meditate with his eyes closed. Upon arriving at Heavenly Colors, Wang Hengyang and Li Yao finally realized Jiaojiao hadn't exaggerated. Heavenly Colors was truly outstanding. Both visual and gustatory experiences were top-notch. Li Yao, who usually could only manage half a bowl of rice, incredibly managed to eat 3 full bowls this time, plus 2 desserts. Not sure if it's an illusion, but it seems like the rice here tasted much better than anywhere else. This restaurant's boss is really amazing. Li Yao praised generously. Du Jiaojiao smiled and said, I felt the same the first time I came here. Chapter 939. Great Beauty. Siblings? _6. Li Yao continued, it would be great if Shen City also had a store. Du Jiaojiao joked, you could consider moving to Beijing. After the meal, Enai Yang had some other matters to attend to, so she left early and didn't go back to Deming Pavilion with the others. Wang Hengyang went to talk business with Grandpa Du, and Li Yao chatted with Du Jiaojiao in her room. Is that the gift from the Great Beauty? Li Yao asked, pointing to a beautifully wrapped box. Although she hadn't known Ni Yang for long, Li Yao had already given her a nickname. That was the Great Beauty. Du Jiaojiao nodded. Yes, it's from the Great Beauty. Compared to Yang Yang, Du Jiaojiao also felt that the term Great Beauty suited Ni Yang better. What did the Great Beauty give you? I'm really so curious. Li Yao picked up the wrapped box casually. Do you mind if I open it to have a look? Go ahead, I would have to open it sooner or later. Li Yao unwrapped the box layer by layer, then exclaimed in surprise, Oh my God! What is it? Du Jiaojiao grew curious. The Great Beauty is really thoughtful. Come over and take a look. Li Yao insisted. Du Jiaojiao came over and was also a bit surprised. The box was filled with rose petals, and a faint rose fragrance lingered in the air. In the middle of the rose petals was a box of skincare products. Ice Jade Skin, this is the first time I've heard of this name. Li Yao picked up the box. The packaging looks really high-end, but it seems to be a domestic product. I wonder if it's any good. As she finished, Li Yao continued, How well off is the great Bowtai's family? To only give a domestic skincare product. Who would dare use it? Ni Yang didn't seem like the stingy type. And at that time, domestic products really couldn't stand on solid ground. Du Jiaojiao smiled and said, The Great Beauty is still a student. She mentioned this skincare product to me before, and it must be because she found it suitable for her use that she gifted it to me. Just in time, my skin has been a bit dry these days, and I've even had some acne. I'll try Ice Jade Skin tonight. Previously, when Ni Yang had talked about it, Du Jiaojiao hadn't taken her words seriously, sharing the same sentiment as Li Yao. However, now that it was a gift from Ni Yang, she certainly couldn't let down Ni Yang's kindness. Li Yao continued, Even though it's from the Great Beauty, you should still be careful. Remember, your skin is sensitive. Back in that era, the concept of sensitive skin wasn't established, but Li Yao and Du Jiaojiao traveled abroad often and knew much more than the average person. I know. Du Jiaojiao nodded. Du Jiaojiao didn't just talk the talk. Although she had sensitive skin, she washed her face very carefully with the face wash as per the instructions when she took a shower in the evening. Then, she applied aloe vera gel, acne cream, and hydrating moisturizer in sequence. These products felt cool and comfortable on her skin, without the stinging sensation she had anticipated, which surprised Du Jiaojiao. It seemed that Ice Jade Skin, although a domestic brand, was much better than she had expected. Du Jiaojiao was looking forward to the future results. Elsewhere, inside the mansion, Jiao Wenong sat at the edge of the bed massaging Lu's father's feet, and the two reminisced about events from decades ago. Your older sister was a rare good woman. I wonder if, over these years, she's remarried or not. Haoshan, do you think if your sister has married again, she would still return home with us? Lu's father shook his head. She's not that kind of person. Women who came out of that era had fidelity etched into their bones. Once married, they followed their husbands, and if their husbands died, they followed their sons. They valued their chastity more than their lives and would absolutely not remarry. Go back 60 years earlier, and you'd still hear talk of the chastity arch. Jiao Wenong nodded. I also feel that your sister isn't that kind of person. Lu's father sighed. These years, it's I who have let her down. It's a time of war and chaos. None of this is your fault, Jiao Wenong reassured. Your sister is so kind-hearted. I believe she will understand your predicament. Lu's father sighed again. I hope so. Jiao Wenong smiled and said, Don't worry, your sister definitely won't blame you. By the way, Haoshan, there's something I'd like to discuss with you. Go ahead, Lu's father said, massaging his temples. Jiao Wenong continued, I've made up my mind. If your sister has not remarried all these years and doesn't have any children, I'm considering adopting Xiaoru out to her. Jiao Wenong was a clever woman. She knew that after adopting Lu Ru to Grandma Lu, she wouldn't be at a loss. Chapter 940, Great Beauty. Siblings? _7 After all, that old lady didn't have many years left to live. Liu's father was taken aback. Jiao Wenong continued, Haoshan, do you agree? If you don't agree, then we'll just drop the matter, and pretend that I never said this. Liu's father opened his mouth and said, Our daughter is also her daughter. Isn't it too much trouble to adopt formally? Jiao Wenong shook her head. It's different, Haoshan. I'm a woman too, and I understand too well how much a woman yearns to have a child of her own. Big sister has been alone for so many years, I really feel sorry for her. As she spoke, Jiao Wentang's eyes reddened. Liu's father nodded. It's thoughtful of you to consider all this. Since you agree, I have no objections either. Let's do as you say and adopt our Xiaoru out to her. Jiao Wenong took a towel and wiped Liu's father's feet dry. Then I'll go and talk to Xiaoru about this now. All right. Jiao Wenong emptied the footbath, draped on a thin coat, and went to look for Lu Ru. After hearing the news, Lu Ru was overjoyed. Mom, are you serious? I can really be adopted by my auntie? It was said that the old lady had many valuable things. If she could be adopted by her, it meant that those things would also belong to her. Could Lu Ru be any less happy about getting something for nothing? It's really possible. Jiao Wentong nodded. Your dad has agreed. Mom, thank you. Lu Ru hugged Jiao Wenong excitedly. You silly child, you're being so formal with your mom? Jiao Wentong smiled tenderly. Having married Lu Haoshan for so many years, her greatest pride was this pair of children. Although Lu Qi always annoyed her, children are thoughtless, and besides, he was her own flesh and blood, she wouldn't hold it against him. So when can we go see my auntie? Lu Ru continued to ask. Jiao Wentong said, your dad has already had someone check on it, we should know soon, don't rush or you'll spoil it. Lu Ru nodded, I understand. Jiao Wentong continued, Xiaoru, after you meet your auntie, you really need to temper your attitude. Your auntie was brought up with the old society's traditional education and likes those graceful and dignified young ladies. You must not clash with your auntie, it would upset your father. Lu Ru smiled and said, unless I'm crazy, I wouldn't clash with auntie. Don't worry, I'll take good care of her. That's good. Jiao Wentong nodded in satisfaction. Truly a daughter she had raised herself, she understood with just a hint. After leaving Lu Ru's room, Liu's father was already asleep in bed. People become like this as they age. Jiao Wentong slightly frowned, pulled back the covers, and lay on the other side. The Ni family always ate dinner late. During the meal, Grandma Lu arrived with her cane. Ni Tsuehua quickly stood up and said, have you eaten? If not, come and join us. We've only just started. Ni Yang got up to get some cutlery for Grandma Lu in the kitchen. Grandma Lu stopped Ni Yang's movement. I've eaten Chang'eng, don't fuss over me. I've come to have a word with you. Ni Yang said, then let's talk over here. Mom, you all keep eating, I'll have a word with Grandma Lu. All right, Ni Tsuehua nodded. Ni Yang and Grandma Lu went over to the living room. Yang, did you go up and see those siblings today? Grandma Lu asked. After all, it concerned her own relatives, so Grandma Lu thought it over for an entire night. She felt she needed to see them at least once. Although the name wasn't correct. What if there were a miracle? For decades, whenever she thought of those people, she could only sustain herself with memories. I've been there, Ni Yang nodded, telling the truth. The parents of those two siblings came too. Their mother called you big sister and said they wanted to take you back to enjoy your old age. Grandma Lu was the person concerned, and she had the right to know the truth. Big sister. How many years had it been since Grandma Lu heard this address? Ever since her younger brother and sister-in-law had passed, she hadn't heard it. For a moment, Grandma Liu's eyes turned slightly red. Yang, after thinking it over, I want to see them. I'm still clear-headed now, and won't mistake my own relatives, and if they really are my younger brother and sister-in-law, then we would miss out. Could you arrange a time for us to meet? She was also of quite old age now, and who knew when she might pass away. Before dying, she didn't want to leave with regrets. Ni Yang nodded, sure, I'll make another trip there tomorrow. All right, Grandma Lu nodded, then that would trouble you, Yang. Ni Yang smiled, it's no trouble at all, it's what I should do. This is nothing. Ni Yang also hoped that Grandma Lu would find her relatives and then be able to enjoy her sunset years. Having been separated from her family for so many years due to the troubled times, the old lattice life had been too hard. The next day, Ni Yang drove to the address mentioned by Lu's father the day before. When she arrived, Lu Qi was just about to leave the house. Seeing Ni Yang, Lu Qi said in surprise, "Comrade, why have you come?" Ni Yang smiled slightly. "My name is Ni Yang, just call me by my name. It's Grandma Lu who asked me to come. She would like to see you all." Now that Grandma Lu had decided to see them, Ni Yang no longer hid her real name. On hearing this, Lu Qi was overjoyed. "Really?" Ni Yang nodded. "Really? Are your parents free now? If they are, come with me." Lu Qi glanced behind Ni Yang and then asked, "Did your family's driver bring you here?" "I drove here myself," Ni Yang replied. Lu Qi said, "You are amazing. My little sister can't even drive." In this era, it was rare for women to drive. Ni Yang didn't continue the topic and then said, "Are your parents free now? If not, I can leave the address with you. If they are, I can take you there now to avoid you having trouble finding it later." Lu Qi eagerly nodded. "Free, free. They're free. Come inside with me and I'll go tell my parents right away. They'll be very happy to hear this news." Ni Yang followed Lu Qi inside. The mansion the Lu family lived in was extraordinarily luxurious. Without certain status and position, one really couldn't live in such a place. The servant was very courteous and hurriedly brewed tea for Ni Yang. Lu Qi then said, "Ni Yang, you wait here for a moment, you'll go find my parents. They're upstairs." "Okay," Ni Yang nodded. "Upstairs." Lu's father and Jiao Wentong, upon hearing the news, were very happy. They were planning to sleep in, but now they didn't feel like sleeping anymore and quickly got dressed. "Xiaoqi, go call your sister." "Got it." Lu Qi went to Zaira's room. Xiaoru also changed her lazy attitude, and upon hearing that they could go to Grandma Liu's place, she got up at once. Knowing Grandma Lu liked the delicate damsel type, she even specifically changed into the cheongsam she had bought last time. After calling everyone, Lu Qi went downstairs. "Ni Yang, just wait a little longer, they'll be down soon." "Okay." Ni Yang picked up the cup and took a sip of tea. Chapter 941. The truth emerging from the surface. Lu Qi took 2 plates of exquisite pastries from the servant's hands and placed them on the table. "These are our Bay Island specialties, pineapple cake and red turtle cake. Have a taste." "Thank you." Lu Qi sat opposite Ni Yang, unsure of what to do with his hands and feet. This was clearly his home, yet he felt more nervous than Ni Yang. In contrast, Ni Yang showed no hints of strangeness in her expression, her calm demeanor as if she were the hostess. Her presence was naturally awe-inspiring. Such a unique aura could not be mimicked by the average person. Eat the pastries." Lu Qi pushed the pastries towards Ni Yang. With polite insistence, Ni Yang reached for a pineapple cake. The crust was crispy and delicious, the filling soft and sweet. "It tastes really good." Lu Qi's face flushed for a moment. Somewhat embarrassedly, he said, "If it's good, feel free to have a few more pieces." Ni Yang's gaze swept inconspicuously in the direction of the staircase. "Are your uncle and aunt from inland?" Lu Qi first paused, then nodded. "Yes, my dad and mom are both from inland. My dad stayed on Bay Island for some irresistible reasons and has now settled in Bay Island, having not returned to Beijing for many years." "Do inlanders get used to living in coastal cities?" Ni Yang asked. "Bay Island is surrounded by sea on all sides, and the climate is very different from the land. It's fine for just traveling, but if you're a native northerner, living in a coastal city would definitely be quite uncomfortable." Lu Qi said, "We were born and raised on Bay Island since we were young, and are already used to its climate. My mom was originally from the south anyway, where the climate is similar to Bay Islands. My dad has spent half his life on Bay Island, so even if he wasn't used to it, he should be by now." Ni Yang expressed her surprise. "So Auntie is from the south?" "I am also from the south." "Which part of the south is Auntie from?" Dr. Jiang's family is originally from Beijing. Beijing and Haicheng are thousands of kilometers apart. In days before the widespread use of communication technology, people living so far apart would hardly have any connection. Moreover, the chance of being an illegitimate daughter was also not likely. Dr. Jiang went overseas with Zhao Qing 22 years ago, and when she returned to her country 12 years later she was already 34 years old. Dr. Jiang is only 68 years old this year, and although Liu's mother looks young, she must be at least in her 40s or 50s. The ages don't match up. The only possibility is that Liu's mother is Dr. Jiang's younger sister, who had died many years ago, Jiang Ji. Really? Lu Qi responded with astonishment. That is such a coincidence. My mom seems to be from Haiqing City. Anai Yang said with a smile, that is quite a coincidence, I am also from Haiqing City. Haiqing City? Now that's interesting. Anai Zihua just happened to be trafficked to Haiqing City. Hearing this, Lu Qi was very excited. What a fortuitous encounter this must be. As the words fell, Anai Yang continued, may I ask what Auntie's last name is? Lu Qi, eager to make an impression in front of Anai Yang, promptly revealed his mother's full name. My mom's name is Jiao Weneng, Jiao as in Yangtze River, Wen as in culture, and Tang as in crabapple. Oh, Anai Yang nodded. There seem to be very few families with the surname Jiao in our village. I was wondering if Auntie might be from the same village as me. My mom is from Xiaomu village, Lu Qi said. Xiaomu village? Anai Yang thought for a moment. I haven't heard of this village, it must be far away from the village we used to live in. In fact, Anai Kuihua's adoptive father's home was in Xiaomu village. Xiaomu village was right next to Dam village. Which village are you from? Lu Qi asked next. I'm from Dam village, Anai Yang said. Oh, Lu Qi scratched his head. I don't think my mom has mentioned this village. The two chatted idly for a while. Soon, Liu's parents and Lu Ru came down from the upstairs. Seeing his parents come down, Lu Qi excitedly walked over. Mom, it turns out Anai Yang is also from Haiqing City, your fellow townsman. She is from Dam village in Haiqing City? Mom, do you know Dam village? Jiao Wenong first paused, then said, Mom has been away from Haiqing for such a long time now, who would remember that? Hearing this, Anai Yang raised her eyebrows slightly. This Jiao Wenong is quite interesting. If Jiao Wenong really was from Xiaomu village of Haiqing City, she wouldn't be unaware of the neighboring village. Even though time can dilute everything, it never changes the sounds of one's hometown or the longing for it. The only explanation is that Jiao Wenong has some unspeakable secrets. Liu's father approached Anai Yang. Comrade Anai Yang, if I may ask boldly, what is your relation to the child's great-aunt? How should we address you? Chapter 942. The Truth Emerging from the Surface _2. Anai Yen gave a slight smile but did not directly answer Liu's father's question and instead said, Uncle, if you really are Grandma Liu's relatives, she will tell you when the time comes. All right, Liu's father nodded. Let's get going then. It was only then that Lu Ru realized that Anai Yen had also come. Lu Ru was wearing a light blue cheongsam, with a tassel of the same color hanging from the button on the chest side, concealing a translucent, dripping jade stone within the light tassel. Lu Ru had a tall figure. Although her skin was dark, her overall facial features were delicate. This outfit significantly softened her usual aggressive demeanor, giving her a bit of a graceful beauty. However, the person standing opposite her today was Anai Yen. Coincidentally, Anai Yen was also wearing a cheongsam today, a plain white one with a red jade clasp that matched the red edge of her hair clip. As she moved, the jade swayed, shimmering brilliantly. Her eyebrows seemed like distant mountains, not drawn yet naturally dark. Her lips appeared as if dabbed with sand, naturally red without emphasis. With such a dazzling person in front, Lu Ru's beauty seemed somewhat insufficient. Lu Ru tugged at her skirt and looked up at Anai Yen, her eyebrows tightly furrowed. This wretched girl, she must have done it on purpose. Knowing that she was going to wear a cheongsam today, so she followed suit. She wanted to steal her spotlight. Perhaps she wanted to compete for affection as well. She aimed to steal Grandma's love and then take the opportunity to swindle Grandma's property. Shameless. Once she and Grandma recognized each other, she would make Anai Yen stay far away. Anai Yen had better not think about stealing her things. The group walked out of the mansion. There were 2 cars outside, one belonging to the Lu family and one to Anai Yen. Anai Yen walked to her car, opened the door and said, "I'll lead the way." Liu's father was startled. Goodness! This young comrade could even drive. Impressive. All right, thank you, young comrade. Liu's father managed to suppress his astonishment and nodded. Yen got into the car, closed the door, started the engine, and drove off, all in one fluid motion, radiating an indescribable coolness. Seeing this, Lu Ru was taken aback. She had thought Yen was just a poor girl. Unexpectedly, she could also drive. Where did she get the money to buy a car? Could it be that she had already swindled Grandma's property? The more Lu Ru thought, the more she believed it was the case. Jiao Wentong and Lu Ru shared the same thought. She couldn't believe that Yen, a mere girl, could afford to buy a car. It seemed that Yen was really something else. To even deceive the old lady out of her money. Jiao Wentong narrowed her eyes. To accommodate the driver following behind, Yen deliberately slowed down. Dad, I want to learn to drive too. Lu Ru shook Liu's father's arm. No, it's too dangerous for girls to drive. Liu's father refused. I want to learn, Daddy, please agree. Lu Ru began to act coquettishly. Daddy, my dear daddy? Lu Qi hissed. Can you not disgust me? Sheru, take my advice. You really aren't suited to act coquettishly. I'm getting goosebumps all over. Daddy, brother is bullying me. Lu Ru continued her act. Lu Qi was almost at his wit's end and turned on the car radio, turning up the volume. The car sped along, soon arriving at Jinghua village. Unlike the impoverished hinterland imagined, every household in Jinghua village was connected by a concrete road, and workers were installing street lights along the roadsides. Jiao Wenong expressed surprise. There are even street lights in the countryside now. Looking at the scenery outside the window, Liu's father exclaimed, "It seems that Beijing has developed much faster than we imagined these past years." Liu's mother added, "The environment here is really nice, filled with the scent of birds and flowers. It looks like my elder sister has had a better life here these past years than I imagined. Where we live, many places still don't have street lights." At this moment, street lights were only installed on bustling streets. Liu's father sighed. "Seeing that she has been doing well, I feel relieved." The car in front stopped in front of a rundown house. Lu Qi quickly slowed down and pulled over. Yen opened the car door and stepped out. "This is the place, uncle and aunt, please get out." Once out of the car, Liu's father looked at the very dilapidated house in front of him, his eyes slightly reddened, and said, "Has she been living in such a place all these years?" When he saw that the village was installing streetlights, he had thought that she had been living well these years. Little did he expect that she had been dwelling in such a place. Chapter 943, The Truth Emerging from the Surface _3. She still had some money on her, didn't she? Even in her decline, she wouldn't have become like this, right? Liu's father turned his head to look at Yang, and then at the sedan on Yang's left, his eyes growing complicated. The ring she's wearing is a Lu family heirloom. Perhaps even the money for buying the car was. This possibility was indeed high. After all, this is merely a rural place. Where could a countrywoman like Yang get the money to buy a car? Her sedan was imported and would cost at least 100 and several tens of thousands. Yang continued, "Grandma Lu is inside right now, uncle and auntie, please come in with me." Liu's father nodded nonchalantly. "Sure. Weneng Xiaoqi Sheru, let's go in quickly." Yang went to knock on the door. Grandma Lu, we're here." "Coming." Grandma Lu responded, opening the door. To welcome relatives from afar, Grandma Lu specially put on new clothes that Yang had bought for her not long ago. The Lu family still kept photos of Grandma Lu from when she was young. Thus, Jiao Wenong recognized Grandma Lu instantly and rushed forward to take her hand. "Big sister." "Great aunt." Lu Ru, following Jiao Wentang's gaze, embraced Grandma Lu tightly, choking out, "Great aunt. Great aunt, we finally found you. You have no idea how much suffering our family has gone through looking for you all these years. Great aunt." Grandma Lu looked at the mother and daughter with tear-filled eyes, her mind filled with confusion. Her little brother was only 2 years younger than her, and his wife was even a year older than him. How could this woman, who was 30 or 40 years younger than herself, possibly be her sister-in-law? They must have mistaken her for someone else. Grandma Lu pushed Lu Ru directly away. Young girl, you've got the wrong person, I'm not your great aunt, she said, then looking up at Jiao Wenong. And you, young lady, I don't know you. I don't have a younger sister as young as you. Lu Ru had also seen Grandma Lu from the old photos. She paused, never expecting Grandma Lu would push her away. This was very different from what she had imagined a family reunion to be like. After so many years of separation, Grandma Lu should have been deeply moved to see them. Why would she react like this? Could it be that the old woman had become senile? Or had Ni Yang stirred up something in the middle? Lu Ru looked up at Ni Yang. Jiao Wentong grabbed Grandma Liu's hand again. You are my big sister. I haven't mistaken you. We wouldn't make a mistake. You really have the wrong person. Grandma Lu shook off Jiao Wentong's hand. As Jiao Wenong stood there awkwardly, Liu's father stepped forward. Shuwei, it's me. At these words, Grandma Lu looked up, her pupils shrunk slightly, and memories that had been sealed away surged forth like flood water through open gates, her nostrils flaring. Qinian. It's me. Liu's father had taken a few steps forward, wanting to reach out and embrace Grandma Lu, but seeing the environment behind her, he withdrew his hand and choked out, Shuiwei, it's me. Time had aged them, and now they faced each other, unable to turn back the years. Old friends reunited. So much had changed in the world over the years. Qinian, where have you been all these years? Grandma Lu immediately cried out, throwing her arms around Lu Qinian. I thought you were dead. Qinian, I thought you were dead. 60 years. Every day she offered incense for Lu Qinian, never imagining that Lu Qinian was still alive. He was still alive. Grandma Lu even thought she might be dreaming. Shuiwei, I've wronged you, I've deeply wronged you. I thought you were dead, I'm sorry, so sorry. Watching the two old people embracing each other, Ni Yang frowned slightly. Although Grandma Lu had recognized the person, she felt that there was something more complicated about this matter. According to Lu Qi, Liu's father should be called Lu Haoshan. Why was he now called Lu Qinian? Grandma Lu wept bitterly. I thought you were dead too, heaven has eyes, Qin, you're still alive. You're still alive. The most agonizing thing in the world is not death, but separation. Had they known earlier that the other was alive, they wouldn't have suffered as they did. Qinian, you're still alive, but what about big brother and second brother? Are they still here? Grandma Lu went on to ask. Lu Qinian shook his head, they're gone. In such chaotic times, it was very difficult to survive. Lu Qinian was just one of the fortunate few. Hearing this, Grandma Lu wept even more bitterly, continuously pounding on Lu Qinian's back. Jiao Wentong immediately came to the side of the two, her eyes red. Big sister, I'm sorry for all the suffering you've endured over the years. Let me and the children take good care of you from now on. Chapter 944. The Truth Emerging from the Surface _4. The sudden joy made Granny Liu's head spin. Qin, who is this? Could it be a relative from Lu Qinian's family? Lu Qinian turned to look at Ni Yang, hesitating. There are some things I can't say in front of outsiders. Granny Lu wiped her tears. Yang is not an outsider, she's no different from my own granddaughter. Just say it directly, you don't need to hesitate. Lu Qinian remained silent. In his eyes, Ni Yang was an outsider. Ni Yang wasn't the kind of person who couldn't read the room. She smiled and said, Granny Lu, I still have some issues at home to handle, I'll come and visit you later. Granny Lu grabbed Ni Yang's hand. Yang, you don't have to leave. Having Ni Yang leave at such a moment would only hurt her feelings. Granny Lu genuinely didn't consider Ni Yang an outsider. Zhao Shuiwei. Liu's father's expression clearly seemed off. Seeing this, Ni Yang still decided to leave. If she insisted on staying, it would make her uncomfortable, and so would the Lu family. Besides, their home was close to Granny Liu's. If anything really happened, she could still rush over to help her. After Ni Yang left, Liu's father sighed in relief. Granny Lu pushed open the half-closed door. Come in and sit with me. The house was dilapidated, but it was kept very clean, and there was even a TV in the living room. Jiao Wentong carefully surveyed the environment. The fact that there was a 3,000 yuan TV showed that the old woman still had a fair amount of money. Granny Lu was busy pouring water for everyone. Jiao Wentong hurried over to help. "Let me help you with that, sister." The tea set at Granny Liu's was quite old, though clean, making Liu's father somewhat hesitant to drink from it. He hadn't used such worn-out cups in many years. Considering the state of the house, who knew if it had been crawled over by rats? Liu's father was hesitant, and Lu Ru, who was used to living comfortably, was even more so. Lu Qi, however, didn't mind. He was thirsty and picked up the cup to drink. "Auntie, this tea is wonderful. Is it barley tea?" Granny Lu nodded and smiled. "Yes, it's barley tea. If you like it, I can pack some for you to take when you leave. I have plenty here." With that, Granny Lu turned to Liu's father. "Qinian, can you talk now? Who are these children to you? How have you really been all these years?" Hearing this, Liu's father sighed deeply, his face full of pain. He began to talk about his difficult past years, how he braved gunfire and crossed seas alone to reach Taiwan Island, and there achieved some success. Thankfully, in my most difficult and helpless times, I met Wentong. Wentong is a good woman. She didn't mind my age or that I had been married before, and she took great care of me. Without her, I might have died. After we got married, Wentong gave birth to 2 children, one named Lu Qi and the other Lu Ru. "Xiaoqi, Xiao, come and greet your auntie." "Hello, auntie." Lu Qi and Lu Ru approached Granny Lu. Granny Lu was stunned. She hadn't expected Lu Qinian to have remarried. Not only had he remarried, but he also had 2 children. Her years of waiting seemed, at that moment, to become a joke. Hearing this, Granny Lu staggered backwards, nearly falling, but Lu Qi promptly steadied her. "Auntie, are you all right?" "I'm fine." Granny Lu waved her hand and looked up at Lu Qi. "Child, do you know what my last name is?" "Lu." Lu Qi guessed. "It should be Lu, right? Otherwise, why would Anai Yang call her Granny Lu?" "No." Granny Lu shook her head, her tone ambiguous between sadness and joy. "My surname is Zhao Shuiyue. I called myself by the Lu surname because my late husband was a Lu." Lu Qinian was her husband. They were a couple who had gone through the formal wedding rites. Old-time women adhered to the principle of following their husband, and after his death, their son. Especially for Zhao Shuiyue, coming from a prominent family, this concept was deeply ingrained. War took her family and husband, and a famine forced her to leave the place she had grown up in, to live incognito in Jinghua village, assuming the name Lu Zhao. Nobody knew that she had had her own name. She was Zhao Shuiyue. Chapter 945. The Truth Emerging from the Surface Under Survive. But she had never lived for herself. By the time she learned the truth, she already had 1 foot in the King Yama Hall. How did it come to this? Seeing Zhao Shuiyue like this, Lu Qinian panicked. "Shuiyue, don't be like this. I'm not dead, I haven't died. I'm still alive, I know I've wronged you all these years. But I couldn't help it, it was all due to the circumstances." Zhao Shuiyue looked at Lu Qinian with a desolate gaze. "So, what have you come here for today? Are you here to boast that you now have a son and a daughter, while I've lived like a joke? Lu Qinian, ask yourself, has the Zhao family ever mistreated you? What did you promise my father? Since you're still alive, why didn't you come looking for me? Looking at your clothes, it doesn't seem like it's because you couldn't afford to, right? Some people would be better off dead. All these years, if Lu Qinian had truly wanted to find her, he would not have failed to do so. But Lu Qinian hadn't. Not only had he not, but he had also remarried. How ironic all of this was. Back then, Lu Qinian was just a destitute beggar too poor to eat, fainting at the doorstep of the Zhao family. It was old Master Zhao who took pity on him, picked up the half-dead Lu Qinian, and later took him in as a son-in-law. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last long. The couple had been married for hardly half a year before war broke out. The entire Zhao family, over 200 people, were either killed or fled, in the end leaving only Zhao Shuiyue alone. "Shuiyue, I've wronged you. I apologize to you." Lu Qinian immediately knelt on the ground. "Shuiyue, please forgive me. From now on, my children with Wentong will be your children, they will take good care of you, and moreover, Wenong said, she wants to give Xiaoru to you as an adopted child. Lu Ru also knelt down. Auntie, please forgive my father. He had no other choice. I assure you, from now on, you'll be my own mother, and when you pass on, I will carry the funeral banner and smash the bowls for you. Carrying the funeral banner and smashing the bowls is a custom after an elder's death, generally performed by the eldest son. However, in the absence of a son, a daughter can also do it, and it is usually the person who performs these rites who inherits all of the elder's wealth. This old woman was so rich, of course, she wanted to inherit her wealth. Jiao Wenong too knelt down, dragging Lu Qi with her. Big sister, I know all of this is my fault. It was me who pitted Haoshan. It was me who shamelessly wanted to marry him. If you mind my existence, I can divorce Haoshan. Big sister, as long as you're willing to forgive Haoshan, I'm willing to do anything. The whole family was kneeling neatly in front of Zhao Shuyue, their sincerity evident. Grandma Lu turned away. My husband Lu Qinian died 60 years ago. I do not know any of you. Please leave. 60 years. She would have preferred it if Lu Qinian had never lived at all. Shuyue, you can't be so heartless, Lu Qinian pleaded, holding onto Zhao Shuyu's legs. I know I've wronged you, but who in this life doesn't make a single mistake? Lu Qinian continued. Shuyue, I know these years have been hard for you, but I hope you can also understand me. Think about it, in our parents' generation, who didn't have multiple wives and concubines. Without you by my side, I couldn't just watch the Lu family lineage die out. And I truly didn't know you were alive. If I had known, I certainly wouldn't have done this. Shuyue, please give me a chance to make it up to you. I really know I was wrong. In that era, not to mention Zhao Shuyu's parents, even her brothers had multiple wives and concubines. He might have been guilty, but his crime was not worthy of death. Auntie, Lu Ru tugged at Zhao Shuyu's sleeve. They say a man's knees are gold, and now my father and brother have both knelt before you. Come back with us. From now on, I'll make sure you live in a big house, eat the best foods. Zhao Shuyue closed her eyes. Go back, I don't know you. Auntie. Lu Ru grasped Zhao Shuyue tightly. I'm not your auntie. Zhao Shuyu's voice trembled slightly. Lu Qinian went on. Shuyue, we're both of advanced age now. What's there that we can't forgive? There is only this one life, no afterlife. I hope you can understand that. I believe if our parents were still alive, they too would understand me. They wouldn't want to see the Lu family's line end. Chapter 946. The Truth Emerging from the Surface _6. Shuyue, under those circumstances, it wasn't that I didn't want to come back to find you, but I simply couldn't come back. And besides, I thought you had died. Just like you thought I had died too. Shuyue, all I did was find someone to take care of myself. Do I really deserve to die for that? If dying can let you let go of your hatred for me, then go ahead and kill me. With that, Lu Qinian pulled out the short dagger strapped to his waist and handed it to Zhao Shuyue. Lu Qinian knew Zhao Shuyue very well. She was the type with a harsh tongue but a soft heart, one who couldn't be approached with force but rather needed her heart gently won over. Zhao Shuyue took the dagger and fiercely stabbed it towards Lu Qinian's chest. The other 3 people nearby were all startled. But Lu Qinian didn't even try to dodge. He knew Zhao Shuyue wouldn't go through with it. Bang! Desh! Just as Lu Qinian had expected, the dagger in Zhao Shuyu's hand fell to the ground. Shuyue, forgive me. Lu Qinian seized the opportunity to embrace Zhao Shuyue. Shuyue, give me a chance to atone. Big sister, from now on, you're the elder and I'm the younger. Jiao Wenong stood up and said, if you don't like me, I can even divorce Haoshan. Zhao Shuyue hugged Lu Qinian and began to cry loudly. She really wanted to forgive and forget with Lu Qinian, but she couldn't bring herself to do it. Perhaps it wasn't Lu Qinian's fault, but the fault of the times. No need, Zhao Shuyue shook her head. You and he are legally married, you don't need to divorce. Big sister, thank you. Jiao Wenong took Zhao Shuyu's hand. Haoshan often says that you are a good woman, and he was right. Big sister, you really are a good person. Zhao Shuyue didn't say a word. Jiao Wenong continued, Big sister, from now on, Xiaoqi and Xiaoru are your own children. When we go back, I will let you adopt Xiaoru. Go back? Zhao Shuyue frowned. Go back where? Jiao Wentong said with a smile. Of course, to bring Big Sister back to Bay Island to enjoy the good life. We've finally found you, Big Sister. How can we let you continue to live a hard life here? Jiao Weneng had been paying close attention for a long time, and sure enough, Zhao Shuyue was indeed from a wealthy family. Even the hairpin she used to twist up her hair was no ordinary item. After they returned, they would find a way to get Zhao Shuyue to bring out all those nice things. Zhao Shuyue shook her head. I'm not leaving. Why? Jiao Wenong asked. Zhao Shuyue replied, I've lived in Jinghua village my entire life. This is my home. You all go back. There's no need to come looking for me again. I'm doing very well here. Lu Ru grew anxious. If this old woman didn't go back with them, what would become of all those good things? Would they all fall into Ni Yang's hands? That was unacceptable. Auntie, please come back with us. I promise I will treat you like my own mother from now on and take good care of you. You don't have any relatives or friends here. If something happens, no one will even know. Zhao Shuyue shook her head. The villagers are good to me, you don't have to worry about this. Besides, isn't there Yang Yang? That child is just like my own granddaughter. Just as Jiao Wenong was about to say more, she was silenced by a look from Lu Qinian. Lu Qinian continued, I'm sorry, Shuyue, for all the hardship you've endured these years. I really do want to make it up to you. Won't you consider coming back with me? Zhao Shuyue shook her head again. You go back by yourselves. Lu Qinian sighed and exchanged a few more pleasantries. The family of four stayed at Zhao Shuyu's home until evening before leaving. When they left, Lu Qinian secretly placed 1,000 yuan under Zhao Shuyu's bed. He knew Zhao Shuyue didn't lack money, which is why 10 or 20 yuan would never catch her eye, so he decided to leave 1,000. Hoping it might sooner touch Zhao Shuyu's heart, so she would return with him. As soon as they got home, Jiao Wenong said angrily, Haoshan, why did you stop me from speaking my mind at Big Sister's house this afternoon? That little girl Ni Yang is nothing but a con artist. She's trying to trick Big Sister out of her things. And to think Big Sister treats her like her own granddaughter. Besides, what right does an outsider have to take our family heirloom? Lu Ru was indignant. Exactly. What right does that cheap girl Ni Yang have to take our family heirloom? Those things are all mine. If it hadn't been for Lu Qinian's intervention today, she would have exposed Ni Yang for who she really is right in front of Zhao Shuyue. Chapter 947. The truth emerging from the surface. _7 Lu Qinian spoke earnestly. What I'm doing is called casting a long line to catch a big fish. Do you think I can't see what kind of person Ni Yang is? The car she drove today might have been funded by Zhao Shuyue. But some issues can't be rushed. Looking at Zhao Shuyu's attitude, it's clear she hasn't fully accepted us yet, so we must take it slow and not be too definitive in our approach. Upon hearing this, Lu Ru instantly understood. Dad, you are wise. Jiao Wenong also smiled. Lu Qinian continued, our family used to be very wealthy, the richest in the area, and I heard from Zhao Shuyu's father that to prevent our family from declining, our ancestors secretly hid a stash of gold, silver, and precious treasures during the Kangxi period. Before Lu Qinian finished his sentence, Lu Ru excitedly exclaimed, Dad, are you serious? She had thought that the jade bracelet was the most valuable treasure Zhao Shuyue had, but it turned out there was a gold mine in her hands. Jiao Wenong was also excited, though she didn't show it. Lu Qinian nodded. It's true, otherwise, I wouldn't have gone through such effort to find her. In any case, this treasure must not end up in Ni Yang's hands. So, these next few days, we must visit her daily to try and find that treasure map sooner. So many years had passed, and if Lu Qinian hadn't suddenly remembered the gold mine, he wouldn't have come looking for Zhao Shuyue. He had a wife and children, living such a happy life. Why would he bother stirring trouble? As far as he knew, the gold mine that Zhao Shuyue possessed was enough to secure many generations of his descendants a carefree life. Lu Qinian had even lined up foreign buyers. Jiao Wentong nodded. Just then, Lu Qi parked the car and walked in. Mom? Dad, what were you just talking about? Nothing, Jiao Wentong replied. Her son was simple-minded, never engaging in anything underhanded. If he found out about the treasure map, the whole plan would be ruined. Thus, she couldn't tell him the truth. After the Lu family left, and Yang, carrying the food, arrived at Zhao Shuyu's home. Grandma Lu and Yang knocked on the door. Zhao Shuyue opened the door from inside. Yang is here. As the two of them entered, and Yang noticed a slight redness around Zhao Shuyu's eyes and asked, Grandma Lu, are you all right? Zhao Shuyue shook her head. I'm already 1 foot in the grave, what can be wrong with me? But Yang, from now on, can you call me Grandma Zhao instead? Huh. And Yang was puzzled, failing to grasp Zhao Shuyu's meaning. Zhao Shuyue sighed. Yang, actually my surname is Zhao, my name is Zhao Shuyue? And Yang had known Zhao Shuyue for so long and only now discovered that her surname was not Lu, but Zhao. Zhao Shuyue further explained why she had previously claimed she belonged to the Lu family. Lu Qinian, who visited today, he and I had gone through a wedding ceremony 60 years ago. Mentioning it again, Zhao Shuyue was no longer resentful but spoke about it very calmly. And Yang frowned slightly. This was just like a real-life version of the story of Wang Baochuan and Shui Pingwei. Wang Baochuan endured the bitter cold for 18 years. But Shui Pingwei lived a life of glory and wealth for 18 years, and even enjoyed the carefree life of a royal consort. This was just too unfair for Zhao Shuyue. 60 years. A lifetime for a woman. How could he do such a thing? And he still had the audacity to acknowledge Zhao Shuyue. Grandma Zhao, are you really forgiving them? And Yang found it hard to believe. Zhao Shuyue smiled slightly. The past is the past, I don't have many years left to live anyway, why hold a grudge against them? It's done. This must have been a dream she had in this mortal world. Don't you think this is too unfair to you? Wang Baochuan waited in the cold cave for 18 years, but at least she ended up becoming the empress for 18 days. What about you? What did you get? You lost a whole 60 years of youth. How many 60 years does a woman have? And Yang was really angry. She was truly angry. Why should such a good person like Zhao Shuyue suffer like this? Why should she endure all this pain? As a woman from the 21st century, Yang really couldn't stand seeing this. Zhao Shuyue patted Yang's hand. Yang, I'm not angry anymore, you shouldn't be either. Now I just think of that Lu Qinian as a naive younger brother. The Lu Qishan who married me in the ceremony long ago is already dead. Mrs. Zhao. He committed bigamy. He abandoned his lawful wife. He has to bear legal responsibility. Zhao Shuyue shook her head. Yang, that all belongs to a past era for me. Now Jiao Wentong is his lawful wife. If it really came to investigating it, I'm the one who would be considered the homewrecker. There were no marriage certificates in the old era, and they didn't have children either. They are not protected by the laws of the new era. And Yang sighed deeply, her eyes reddening. But it hurts me to see what you've been through. 60 whole years. Zhao Shuyue had spent 60 years, just to end up with this result. Feeling her nose sting, Zhao Shuyue reached out and hugged Yang. Silly child, Grandma is okay, I am living well, there's nothing to feel sorry for. All my family died in the chaos of the old times. In a way, he is the only kin I have left in this world. With Grandma Zhao having said that, Yang didn't feel it was her place to say much more. Some things, like a fish knows the warmth or coldness of the water, are known only to the individual. Mrs. Zhao, if his family ever dares to bully you or disrespect you again, just tell me. I'll stand up for you. Certainly, Zhao Shuyue nodded her head. The next day, the Lu family came early, not bringing Lu Qi this time, but just Lu Qinian, Jiao Weneng, and Lu Ru. Lu Ru came carrying 2 big bags of clothes, saying, Andy, look, these are clothes I bought for you. Please go in and try them on to see if they fit well. Okay, Zhao Shuyue took the clothes. With her conflicts resolved, Zhao Shuyue didn't feel the need to show any displeasure towards Lu Ru. Since it was the thoughtfulness of the child, she wouldn't refuse. Lu Ru exchanged a glance with Jiao Weneng, then continued, Auntie, let me accompany you inside to change. It wasn't long before Lu Ru and Zhao Shuyue came out in the new clothes. Jiao Wentong said with a smile, Xiaoru has a good eye, just look at how fitting these dresses are for sister. Lu Qinian nodded, indeed, they are very fitting. Zhao Shuyue continued, Actually, you don't need to buy clothes for me. Yang Yang also often buys me clothes, and I can't even wear them all. Upon mentioning Ni Yang, Lu Qinian's lips twitched, then he continued, Shuiwei, did you give our family heirloom to Ni Yang? Zhao Shuiwei nodded. Yes, Yang Yang and I have a connection, and since you neither take the heirloom with you at birth nor can you take it with you in death, it's better gifted to Yang Yang. That old hag, she actually really gave that bracelet to Ni Yang. I wonder if she also gave that treasure map to Ni Yang. Lu Qinian continued, that bracelet is our family's heirloom after all. How could you just casually give it away to an outsider? Chapter 948. A Heartless and Ungrateful Wretch. Outsider. Zhao Shuiwei looked up at Lu Qinian, her face showing a trace of indignation. Yang Yang is not an outsider. Had it not been for Ni Yang, she would have died long ago. In Zhao Shuyu's heart, Ni Yang was definitely not an outsider. Ni Yang held a much more important place than the entire Lu Qinian family. Upon hearing this, Lu Qinian naturally felt uncomfortable. Not an outsider? What was Ni Yang, if not an outsider? Could that girl Ni Yang possibly be more important than their whole family? Bear in mind, their family was Zhao Shuyu's only kin in this world. What on earth was Zhao Shuiwei thinking? What was Ni Yang anyway? Suppressing the anger within, Lu Qinian forced a smile and said, my point is, after all, Ni Yang bears the surname Ni. She's an outsider. Giving our family heirloom to her seems a bit inappropriate. Zhao Shuiwei replied, Yang Yang is like my own granddaughter. Possessions can't be carried with us in life or death, and I have a connection with Yang Yang, so giving them to her couldn't be more fitting. Her own granddaughter? Lu Ru's face contorted with anger upon hearing this. She had treated Zhao Shuiwei so well, yet Zhao Shuiwei gave her nothing. That bracelet should have been hers. By what right did Ni Yang steal what was hers? Could this cursed old hag not tell her own kin from outsiders anymore? With these words, Lu Qinian's expression changed subtly, and he said in a roundabout manner, still, an outsider is an outsider. Zhao Shuiwei responded with a smile, outsider or not, in my heart, Yang Yang is one of our own. Sometimes blood relatives are not as close as those outside the family. Besides, I now have no other relatives. According to Zhao Shuyu's words, was Lu Ru less significant than Ni Yang, an outsider? She would rather give the bracelet to Ni Yang than to Lu Ru. But that bracelet was the Lu family's heirloom. Zhao Shuiwei had married into the family 60 years ago. She was a member of the Lu family. How could she give something from the Lu family to an outsider? Did she even consider her husband anymore in her heart? Lu Qinian almost couldn't contain his anger, but he still tried to control his emotions. The current situation deemed the gold mine and the treasure map more important. He couldn't afford to fall out with Zhao Shuiwei. The former Zhao Shuiwei had been understanding, knowledgeable, and dignified. Why had she become like this now? She was just a stubborn, reclusive, peculiar old woman. She deserved to have been a widow for so many years. It was karma. Lu Qinian steered away from the subject. Shuiwei, you're getting on in years, and it's not good to be without someone to look after you. If you don't wish to come back with us for the time being, why not let Xiaoru stay with you? She may be young, but she has a filial heart and will surely take good care of you. Ni Yang mustn't continue to be close to Zhao Shuiwei. Otherwise, their family's treasure map would one day be swindled away by Ni Yang. He needed to have Lu Ru step in first, to act preemptively and win the heart. Lu Ru promptly clung to Zhao Shuyu's arm. Yes, yes, let me stay to take care of you. Rest assured, I promise to be obedient, to honor you better than my own mother, and not to make you angry. No need, Zhao Shuiwei waved her hand. I am very healthy and can look after myself. Plus, Yang Yang visits me often, I will be fine. Ni Yang. Ni Yang. Why couldn't she just leave them alone? Jiao Wenheng narrowed his eyes, smiling. Sister, it's not good to trouble someone else so much. Let Xiaoru stay and take care of you. She gets along with you, and if you're willing, Haoshan and I have discussed it, we can go through the adoption process in the next few days. After Lu Ru became Zhao Shuyu's daughter in the eyes of the law, she would naturally inherit everything from Zhao Shuiwei. Zhao Shuiwei had no children of her own in this life, And when the time came, Lu Ru would be her sole heir. And Ai Yang would have to stand aside. Jiao Wentang's calculations were resounding like a burst of rapid fire. Zhao Shuyue shook her head. I appreciate your sentiment, but at my age, what do I need a daughter for? Besides, that child Yang Yang is like my own granddaughter to me, having a daughter or not doesn't matter. She didn't count on a daughter to see her through old age and to provide for her end-of-life care. Zhao Shuyu's every other sentence involved Ai Yang, and Jiao Wenong was taken aback, having not expected this reaction from her, much less her refusal. Chapter 949. A heartless and ungrateful villain. She was willing to adopt out her own daughter, who she had carried for 10 months, to Zhao Shuyue. Shouldn't Zhao Shuyue be grateful? It's not something anyone can easily decide, to adopt their daughter out to someone else. Lu Qinian was also stunned. Lu Ru was his treasured daughter. If it were someone else, he wouldn't bear to adopt Lu Ru out. Zhao Shuyue is really ungrateful. Could it be that she really wanted to keep all the good things for Ai Yang? That isn't acceptable. Just then noise came from outside the door. Grandma Zhao. Yang Yang is here. A smile appeared on Zhao Shuyu's face as she walked towards the door. She looked as if she were seeing a beloved relative. Even her expression when seeing Lu Ru was never this joyful. This showed how special Ai Yang was in Zhao Shuyu's heart. Lu Qinian and Jiao Wenong exchanged glances, both seeing displeasure in each other's eyes. They both hated Ai Yang. They were afraid Ai Yang would take what rightfully belonged to them. This little girl, Ai Yang, was unrelated to Zhao Shuyue. Why should she be so good to Zhao Shuyue? She was clearly aiming for Zhao Shuyu's possessions. It was disgraceful. At such a young age, she was already so scheming. Who knows how her family raised her? Haoshan, what should we do? Jiao Wenong looked at Lu Qinian and asked in a low voice. Lu Qinian looked towards the door. Let's see how things unfold for now. Don't antagonize her. Jiao Wenong nodded. Zhao Shuyue welcomed her, and indeed, Ai Yang had arrived. Ai Yang was holding a big round watermelon in her arms. Grandma Zhao, this watermelon was grown by our family. It's also the first crop of the year, very sweet. My mom said you would definitely like it. Like all elderly people, Zhao Shuyue loved sweet things, so Ai Yang often brought her pastries and fruits. Zhao Shuyue smiled and said, Yang, there are many people in your family, and I am alone. I can't eat such a big watermelon. You should take it back. As they spoke, they walked into the house. Ai Yang placed the watermelon on the table. We picked a lot, giving you one still leaves us with 7 or 8. If you can't finish it, I can help you juice it. You can chill it in the well and drink it slowly. After finishing her sentence, Ai Yang then noticed Lu Qinian and the others had arrived. Uncle and Auntie are here too. Ai Yang greeted them proactively. Although she didn't particularly like Lu Qinian's family, they were still close with Zhao Shuyue, and she didn't want Zhao Shuyue to feel awkward by not greeting them. Jiao Wenong got up and, laughing, said, Yang, you are really filial, bringing such a big watermelon. If someone who didn't know any better saw this, they might think you are my big sister's own granddaughter. With that, she added meaningfully, I guess even her real granddaughter isn't as filial as you? The words carried a layer of sarcasm. As the saying goes, unsolicited favors indicate an ulterior motive. She was hinting that Ai Yang had ulterior motives. If Zhao Shuyue was smart enough, she would definitely understand her meaning. Just afraid that old lady Zhao Shuyue was a fool. In fact, Zhao Shuyue really didn't pick up on the hostility in Jiao Wentang's words. Because Ai Yang was all virtues in her heart, hearing Jiao Wenong praising Ai Yang made her quite pleased. Ai Yang smiled faintly, her tone light. Auntie is joking. Respecting the elderly and loving the young is a traditional Chinese virtue. One should not be the type of heartless person who discards his wife and steals another's husband. If Jiao Wenong had kept a low profile, it might have been all right, but unfortunately, Jiao Wentang's words had thorns. Ai Yang was not one to suffer in silence. Whoever made her uncomfortable, she would return the favor. If she continued to swallow insults, the other party might think she was easy to bully. Zhao Shuyue finally caught on to Jiao Wentang's sarcasm and felt somewhat displeased. Luckily, Ni Yang was quick-witted and fired back immediately. With that response, Jiao Wentang's face instantly changed. What a sharp-tongued little girl. To dare to say such things. Lu Qinyan's expression also turned very unsightly. No matter what his shortcomings, it wasn't up to a little girl to criticize him. What was Ni Yang really? Did she really think that because Zhao Shuyue liked her, she was truly Zhao Shuyu's granddaughter? As long as he was alive, that would never be possible. An outsider will always be an outsider. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.